What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was imprisoned? Until Konoha needed their monster back. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description box to original creator of this beautiful creation. This is it, Itachi. I only have a few minutes before I go on to the next life. Shisui, don't talk like that. I can still get you to the hospital in time. No, Itachi. The more I move, the poison will only speed up at a faster pace. I'm sorry, Itachi. The teen now named Shisui stated sadly. He and another teen named Itachi were standing close to a cliff with a waterfall. Shisui was dying from a poison that was coated on a kunai from his desperate fight for survival earlier. He had blood coming from his left eye that was shut tightly due to the swelling. Shisui felt himself become weak and began to use whatever strength he had left to remove his right, which he successfully did. He extended his hand out to Itachi and gave him a sad smile. I'm sorry, Itachi. It looks like I won't be able to keep that promise to you and Naruto. As my final wish, Itachi, I want you to keep my eye in a secluded and safe place. Do not let anyone get their hands on it. If you ever had to do something drastic, give it to Naruto. I only trust you and him with my eye. Tell Naruto that I'm sorry, but I had to do what I had to do for the village. But I know he will understand. The crow contract is also for you and Naruto to keep. They're very good for spying. Damn, I wish could have some dango for one last time before I leave to go to the afterlife. Goodbye, Itachi. Shisui finished as he jumped off of the cliff with bloody tears and a sad smile. Shisui, Itachi yelled as he unconsciously added chakra to his eyes, causing his eyes to evolve into the next version of the Sharingan. The Mangekyo Sharingan. While doing this, Itachi made a vow to himself. I swear, Shisui, your death will not be in vain. That bastard will go down for his crimes. He thought while releasing killing intent. Time skip. Itachi? Why are you here? Naruto, I don't have much time, so you will have to listen. Danzo ordered me to kill the Uchiha clan behind the Hokage's back. Mother and Sasuke are still alive. Danzo and the advisors are nothing but pure evil and they need to be dealt with immediately. I can't do it since I have been labeled as an S-ranked ninja. I need to leave the village as soon as possible. He and his rude Anbu also were the ones behind Shisui's death. I will be taking Shisui's eye with me while you have crow summoning contract. I have to go now, Naruto. I'm sorry I had to do this and leave you like this. Hopefully someday we will meet again. For now this is goodbye. Itachi said in tears as he disappeared in a murder of crows. Naruto stood there in shock. He was in so much shock that he didn't even feel the burning sensation in his eyes as they too evolved into a different Sharingan. He too gained the Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto walked back to his desk looking at Itachi's and Shisui's Anbu masks. He also looked at the pictures of them together. He started shedding tears, and then burst into a loud sob that the other Anbu operatives heard. One Anbu operative, who was in captain, shushed in front of her commander to see what was wrong. Commander, is everything alright? She asked with a hint of concern in her voice. Naruto, who had begun to sob quietly, shook his head, no, and began to talk. Cat, yes commander? Rise and come forward, Naruto said with stern voice that had a hint of sadness in his voice. Cat walked up to the desk while slightly nervous. She was thinking that she had did something wrong and began to think about what she did wrong. Naruto took notice of this and began talking. If you think you are in trouble, then you can stop thinking like that right now. There is something that I would like to congratulate you in. You are moving up into a new rank. Naruto said. What do you mean move up to a new rank? I'm already a captain, what could I possibly be? Cat eyes widened behind the mask. See commander? You can't mean. Yes. As of right now, Cat, you are the new Anbu commander. Tenzo will be the head captain. Take off your mask, Yugo. Naruto said with a warm smile. Cat, now known as Yugo, took off her mask slowly. She then looked at her commander, who still had his mask on, which looked like a dragon, and began to talk. Why me? I choose you because you are the best hard-working woman I have ever seen. Proving to people that women can do the same thing as men. You are the best female Kenjutsu user that Konoha has ever had since the Red Death. You show good leadership. So I thought, why not make her the first female Anbu commander? Naruto said with a small smile. Yugo blushed at the praise that her commander gave her. It felt good to be praised by one of the strongest people in the village. She got out her thoughts and asked her commander a question. "What about you, commander?" she asked. Naruto smirked under his mask and stood up. At the age of 15, he stood at 5 feet 10 and was still growing. He had a lean, athletic body which was built for speed. He had on a black, tight long-sleeved Anbu shirt along with black Anbu pants and Anbu steel-toe boots. He had 2 katanas strapped to his back. He had on a haori that resembled that 4th Hokage's, but his was black with white flames that had the kanji for commander, Si Ling Guan, on the back in white. He removed his mask and shook his head side to side and sighed. Yard tilde. This thing was getting uncomfortable. He said as he looked at Yugo with his violet eyes that had slits for pupils. Yugo had slight blush on her face while looking at her commander. As I was saying, Yugo, I will be doing something tonight. Something that will probably change how the way you think about me. I will be sent away for a long time for doing this. So I will need you to take over for me. What are you planning, commander? Naruto turned and looked her with a stern face with dark violet eyes that caused her to take a step back. I'm going to kill Danzo and his root Anbu and the advisors. But commander? Why? Yugo asked in shock. She had to make sure that she wasn't going crazy at first, so she asked him again. And like before, he flat out told her that he was going to kill Danzo, the root Anbu, and the elders. Naruto looked at Yugo and sighed. Why, you ask? They are nothing but pests in the Leaf Village. Power-hungry pests. This stays between me and you. Danzo and the elders are the reason why Shisui is dead and the cause for the Uchiha massacre. As I was saying before, they are pests that have stayed too long and should be exterminated. And I shall be their exterminator. Naruto said in a dark voice. Yugo shivered hearing the deadly tone coming from her commander. This is the first time she ever had a real conversation with her commander. She would just come to his office and get missions, give mission reports and leave. That's all. So now, having a real conversation with her commander, who was probably a year or two younger than her, was kind of cool and scary. After he was probably the only person in the village stronger than the current Hokage. I understand that they should be dealt with, commander, but she would do this the other way? She asked hopefully. She didn't want to see her commander do something that will cause problems in the future. There is no other way, Yugo. He responded to her, this have been going on far too long. The Hokage is too soft to do anything, so I will do what should be done. He was too soft to stop Orochimaru, which caused half of my Anbu to be killed by that maniac. Ever since my father died the night of the Kyuubi attack, the civilian council has gotten more power. That shit is going to end too. They will be killed as well. You should see how they demand things from him when he's the Hokage. The only one I can tolerate is Mebuki Haruno. She was my mother's friend along with Makoto Uchiha. And I know the old man is lying to me. Naruto said as his chakra began to rise slowly, causing Yugo to sweat slightly. He lied to me that night, telling me that my little sister was killed along with my mother and father. I know where she is. And I will rescue her. She is not to become some mindless weapon for Danzo. Naruto said with a deadly voice as his chakra started to cause web-like cracks underneath his feet. Yugo was frozen. She hasn't felt so much since the Kyuubi attack. Seeing her commander this angry, put fear into her heart. She was now seeing why he was feared in the elemental nations. Yugo, come here, he said with authority, which caused Yugo to straighten up and walk to her commander with her head down. Look at me, Naruto said to her while looking down at her. He was slightly taller than her as she stood only at the height of 5 feet 7. Yugo looked up at her commander and stared at his violet eyes that had slits. His face was similar to that of the 4th Hokage's. He had shoulder-length bangs that framed his face with golden blonde highlights. She looked at him and saw that he was smiling at her. Yugo, before I go, I want to leave you with a few presents. Something for your new position into Anbu. Naruto said in cheerful tone. He then pulled out 3 scrolls as Yugo looked in confusion. Naruto looked at her and chuckled. So what are you waiting for? Are you going to unseal them? I want to see your reaction. Naruto said with glee. Yugo smiled and took the scrolls and unsealed the first one. The first one had a Anbu cat mask, but instead of its usual white, it was black with purple whisker marks. It also had the kanji to for cat on the top of the mask. This is the type of mask you get when you become an Anbu commander. These masks are indestructible. These masks also causes your senses to expand tenfold. Meaning you would see better, hear better, and have the smell of an Izunaka. Naruto explained. Yugo looked with wide eyes but nodded and began to open the second scroll. In the second scroll was a folded piece of cloth, so she had to unfold it to see what it was. When she unfolded it, she was shocked. It was a beautiful Haori. Just like her commanders and his father, the fourth Hokage, except her Haori was black with purple flames. On the back, in purple, it had the kanji for Hellcat, Harukyato, on the back. Yugo stared at her commander in shock. Commander, do you like it? Naruto asked. I love it, it's beautiful, Yugo exclaimed. She was about to put it on until Naruto stopped her. Whoa, you can't put it on just yet. You have to put on with your new Anbu armor. It's just like this one but the word Anbu will be in purple. Naruto stated, in which Yugo had an excited look on her face. Now, your last present, Naruto said with amused smirk on his face. Naruto just looked at him with a look of confusion but shrugged it off. She then opened the last scroll and had stars in her eyes. In the last scroll was a beautiful katana, still inside of the black sheath. The hilt was wrapped in a dark, but not too dark purple with golden-like diamond designs. Yugo pulled the katana out of the sheath and gasped. The blade looked black in the dark but in the light, it was in dark purple with gold lining. Yugo began to shed tears at how beautiful the katana was and how expensive the blade looked. Her commander must have spent so much money on this blade. This blade is beautiful, commander. How much did you even pay for this? She asked with a quivering voice. Naruto looked at her with a raised eyebrow. Who said I paid for that? Naruto asked. Yugo looked at him with a confused look and then gave a look of recognition. You mean? Yes, Naruto answered. I made that blade. Took a lot of time to make but it was worth it. Naruto said while scratching the back of his head with a sheepish look. The next thing he knew was that he felt a pair of arms wrapped around him. Thank you so much, commander, Yugo said with sadness in her voice. This will probably be the last time she would see her commander. The last time she would see the man she secretly admired. Naruto smiled. Please, Yugo, there is no need to thank me. I'm doing this from the bottom of my heart. And please, don't call me that, for I am not your commander anymore. Just call me Naruto, Naruto said as he wrapped his arms around Yugo. They hugged for what seemed like hours. Yugo then looked up at Naruto and stared at his beautiful violet eyes, that was staring warmly at her. She then had the courage and brought her face close to Naruto's face. Naruto, seeing this, stared in shock, but smiled as he too began to move closer until their lips met each other. The two had a heated make-out that was filled with love and passion for 2 minutes. After the make-out, Yugo blushed and hid her face in Naruto's chest. Seeing this, Naruto smirked. You finally had enough courage to kiss me after all this time? Naruto said, making Yugo blush even more than before. Be baka, don't be saying things like that, Yugo said into his chest, causing Naruto to laugh. He grabbed Yugo's hands and began to talk. Listen to me, Yugo. It is time for me to go, Naruto said as Yugo began to protest. No, please don't go. There has to be some other way. You can't leave me like this, Naruto. You are all I have left. I don't want to be alone. Please, Naruto, stay with me, she whispered while having a stream of tears falling from her face. Naruto saw this and clenched his hand tightly. He had to do this. If he didn't, the Leaf Village will only become worse. He took a deep breath and sighed. He lifted Yugo's chin to make her look him in the eyes. I'm sorry, Yugo, but this is the only way to save the leaf from more problems. I don't even care if I'm looked as the bad guy. I'm doing this for the village to be safe, so the villagers and other ninjas can be safe, so you can be safe. I'm sorry that it had to come to this, Yugo, Naruto said as he turned around and walked to his desk to get his 2 katanas. He swung them around stylishly and professionally before strapping them to his back. He also got his pouch of tri-pronged kunai and wrapped them around his right thigh. He began adjusting his Anbu vest, and once he had it like he wanted to, he walked over to his personal closet and grabbed his haori and put it on. He also grabbed his mother's necklace and put it around his neck. Lastly, he grabbed his Anbu mask. This would be his last and final mission in Anbu. This my last mission as an Anbu commander. Mission assigned. Eliminate Danzo, the Root Anbu, the Elders and the Civilian Council. Mission rank. SS rank. Chance of survival. 50%. Assigned to Anbu Commander Ryu. Team selected. None. Solo mission. Naruto said to himself, but Yugo heard him clearly. Well, no turning back now, he thought as he walked in front of Yugo for the last time. Well, this is it. Again, I'm sorry it had to come to this, Yugo. There's something I want to tell you, Naruto said as he gently grabbed her chin. What is it, Naruto? Tell me, she asked frantically. Naruto just smiled. She's the one, Mom. He thought as a tear fell from his cheek. He then bent down and gave Yugo a kiss, shocking her at first, but she gave into the kiss. Naruto stopped the kiss and looked at her with loving eyes. I love you and I will always love you. I'm sorry, until we met again. This is goodbye, Yugo-chan. Naruto said as he put on his mask covering his face. The only thing showing was those blood-red, fully matured, Sharingan eyes. He then disappeared in an ominous black smoke. Yugo was frozen. She fell to her knees and began crying. She was deeply afraid that she would never see her lover again. I love you too, Naruto-kun, she said while still in tears. With Naruto. Boss, we got her out, she's safe. A clone of Naruto said to the original Naruto, who was standing on top of the Hokage monument, most specifically the fourth Hokage's head. Good. Take her, Mebuki. Makoto is still dealing with the death of the clan. I don't want her dealing with a child while she is still mourning. Yes, sir. Anything else, boss? The clone asked. Yeah. Are the kunai all set up in the right spot? Naruto asked. Yeah, just how you wanted, boss. The clone said with a smirk. Perfect. Naruto said with a devilish smile that showed his sharp canine teeth. He then reached back and unsheathed his two katanas. Well then, mission. Exterminating parasites is a go. Naruto said darkly as he disappeared in a flock of bats. Tonight was a night that will soon be filled with screams of pain and agony. Explosives going off, the burning of buildings, the clash between swords, the blood splattering on the floor and walls. The cries of help and mercy will not be heard because as soon someone opens their mouth, a throat will be slashed. Bodies will be on the floor. Heads will be rolling. Blood would be painted on the wall. Screams will flow with the wind. Hearts will stop beating. Tainted souls will be consumed by the death god himself. And eyes will be taken back. For tonight shall not be known as a war, but a massacre. An extermination. Yes, Naruto thought to himself with a devilish smile as walked in the moonlight. An extermination to get rid of the parasites who have been destroying Konoha for too long. It is a path I am risking to take to keep everyone I love safe. I've lost my two closest friends, I can't risk losing anyone else. I'm sorry, Aunt Makoto, Aunt Mebuki, Sasuke, Naruto-chan, Yugo-chan. But I'm doing this for you. Naruto thought as he walked in front of a huge building, causing him to look up. So this is Danzo's root base? Doesn't matter. It will burn to the ground once I'm through. Naruto thought as he slid his Anbu mask on and activated his matured Sharingan. Let's get wild, Naruto stated as he flashed to his nearest kunai. There was rattling at the door in the middle of the night. After what seemed like an hour of rattling, the door seemed to open, causing the moonlight to creep in the house. There was a fat man walking in the house, who smelled of sake and perfume. The man was drunk, but not too drunk, if that made any sense. In other words, he was drunk enough to know what was going on, but his walking was slightly off. Back to the story. He began walking through the house but quickly turned on the lights in order to see better. He walked into the kitchen and put his keys on the counter while walking towards the sink to fix him a cup of water. After fixing the cup of water, he turned the faucet off and began drinking the water. Did you have fun? A voice said, causing the man to choke on his water. The man turned around quickly and gasped. En Namikaze-sama? What are you doing here? The man yelled in a state of shock. Dark, violet eyes glowed menacingly in the dark. Then another light came on, showing no one other than Naruto himself. Why am I here? Well, there are certain things I want to talk to you about. But it seems that I'm not welcomed here. So I guess I'll be leaving, Naruto said as he rose up to his full height and began stretching. And no, that's not what I meant, my lord. I was just shocked to see you this late. Please have a seat, the man said while sweating. Great, because I wasn't leaving anyway, Naruto said with an innocent smile. Do you want anything to drink, my lord? A glass of water will do if you don't mind, Naruto answered, ignoring the my lord in the man's sentence. The only reason they called him that is because he was the son of the fourth Hokage. The man nodded and fixed Naruto glass of water. Naruto took the cup and drank the water halfway to the middle of the glass. After swallowing the water, he began talking again. "So, Tomo-san, how are your wife and daughter?" Naruto asked, causing the man to flinch. "Well, my wife and daughter are doing fine, my lord. They're upstairs sleeping right now." The man answered. "Well then, how come you're smelling like perfume and liquor?" Naruto asked, causing to turn white as paper. You are cheating on your wife, aren't you, Tomo-san?" Naruto asked with a voice that held no emotions. Tomo put his head down in shame. Naruto clicked his teeth and began standing. Era tilde. "But why, Tomo-san?" Naruto asked as he began walking around the kitchen. "I mean, you have a beautiful and loving wife, an innocent and beautiful little girl who radiates nothing but light. So why? But we'll discuss that later. For now, I had to tell you something." Naruto said as activated his Sharingan and stood behind Tomo. Tomo raised an eyebrow. "What is it, my lord?" Tomo asked while shaking slightly in fear as could not see Naruto anywhere. "Good night and rest in peace, Tomo," Naruto said in a cold voice. Tomo couldn't finish his words as he began coughing up blood. He looked down and his eyes widened as he saw an entire arm going through his chest. He followed the bloody arms with his eyes to the hands and stared in shock. In Naruto's hand was his heart covered in his blood while still beating in a steady tune. Before he could say his last words, Naruto crushed his heart, instantly causing the man to go limp. "Foolish old man," Naruto said in a neutral tone. He then went to the sink and washed the blood off his hands. He then covered his hand in wind chakra to dry his hands. He walked over and began to think about what he should do with the body. His mind clicked and he smiled evilly as he muttered one word. "Amaterasu. Where are you taking me, mister?" asked a little girl who was on Naruto's back. "Well, Naruto, I'm taking you to your new home," Naruto answered with a small smile. He was currently jumping from house to house in order to not be seen. "What's your name, mister?" Naruto asked curiously. Naruto began thinking. He knew he couldn't tell her his name due to being in Anbu. But this was his last mission as an Anbu operative. Making up his mind, he answered with, "My name is Naruto, but you can call me Naru-nichan. Okay? Okay, Naru-nichan," the girl said happily while smiling for the first time, which made Naruto happy and sad. Happy because her smile was so contagious and he would do anything to protect that innocent smile. Sad because this would be last time he would see his little sister and he wouldn't be able to protect that smile. He jumped down in front of a house and began knocking, much to Naruto's confusion. "Is this going to be my new home, Naru-nichan?" she asked. Naruto just simply nodded. "Yeah," he answered, "but you'll like it here, I promise," he said warmly. Before Naruto could answer, they heard locks being unlocked until the door finally opened. What stood behind the door was a woman in her early 30s, with pink hair and an average height of 5 feet 5. This was Mebuki Haruno. "Anbu-san, what brings here in the middle of the night? Is something the matter?" she asked. "No, there isn't anything wrong, Aunt Mebuki," Naruto said as he took off his mask, causing Mebuki to gasp. "Naruto-kun, where have you been? I haven't seen you in years," the older woman asked. Naruto laughed at his aunt's antics. "I'm sorry, Aunt Mebuki. I wish I could answer all of your questions, but I won't be able to. I have somebody you would probably want to meet," Naruto said as he gently put Naruto down on the ground, but she hid behind his leg, grabbing his pants tightly. Mebuki's eyes widened, then looked at the boy she called her nephew. "Is this who I think it is?" she asked, in which she got a nod in return. She put her hand over her mouth as she held back tears. "She looks exactly like her mother. The only difference is that she has her father's eyes," she thought. She got on her knees and ushered Naruto to come her. Naruto looked up to Naruto with her bright blue eyes. Naruto noticed that she was staring at him, so he looked down with a gentle smile and nodded. Naruto gulped and slowly let go of Naruto's pants and shyly walked in front of Mebuki. Hello miss. My name is Naruko Uzumaki," she said while looking down shyly, causing Mebuki to gush at her cuteness. "Hello cutie. My name is Mebuki, but you can call me Aunt Mebuki. Okay?" she said with a motherly smile. Naruto nodded and went closer to Mebuki, hugging her, shocking the woman. The woman smiled gently and returned the hug fully, causing Naruto to smile at the two. After hugging each other, Mebuki stood to her full height and looked up to Naruto, who was towering over her. Naruto sighed and began to speak. "This is probably the last time you'll see me, Aunt Mebuki," Naruto said, causing her eyes to widen. "What do you mean, Naruto-kun?" she asked worryingly. "I can't tell you, Aunt Mebuki. But just know that I love you and thank you for everything you have ever done for me," Naruto said with a sad smile. He then walked up to her and hugged her, in which she returned in tears. Hearing her in tears pained Naruto. Her and Makoto were like a second mother to him after his mother died during the Kyuubi attack. He let go of the hug and got on one knee and ushered Naruto to come to him. Once she was close enough, Naruto smiled and put his hand on top of her head. "Now Naruto, I want you to be on your best behavior for Aunt Mebuki while I'm gone. Can you do that for your big brother?" Naruto asked warmly. Naruto nodded and began to blush in embarrassment as Naruto rubbed her head lovingly. "Where are you going, Naru-nichan?" she asked innocently while still having a slight blush on her face. "I'm going on a very long mission, so I won't be back for a long time. But don't worry, I will come back," Naruto said as he planted a kiss on his sister's forehead, causing her to be red as a tomato. Naruto chuckled and stood to his full height and looked at his aunt, who was still in tears. Naruto smiled sadly and disappeared in black smoke, but not saying something that caused Mebuki's heart to hurt even more. "Goodbye, Mebuki-kasen, Root Anbu base. This was pitiful. And I thought I was going to have a challenge," the real Naruto said as he sat on top of a mountain of dead bodies. He was covered in blood from head to toe. Heads were severed, limbs were misplaced, organs littered the floor, the walls were covered in blood. Screams of agony and fear echoed throughout the base. Naruto just smiled evilly as his violet eyes glowed in the dark menacingly. His smile grew as he saw Danzo and 5 more Root Anbu members came into the light. He could feel the fear rolling off of them in waves, which caused him to chuckle darkly. Hearing the chuckle, Danzo, the old warhawk, was reminded of one person. "Madara," he thought in fear. "I can assure you that I am not my grandfather," Naruto said without any emotion. He stood up and began to walk down from the mountain of dead bodies with both katanas in his hands. As soon as his foot touched the floor, he disappeared in black smoke. Danzo looked around frantically until he heard somebody choking. He turned and looked in horror as he saw 2 of his Root members choking on their own blood before dropping to the ground dead. He turned his head when he heard a scream and saw that Naruto's hand that was covered in black lightning in the Root operative chest. 3 down, 3 more to go, Naruto said menacingly as his voice seemed to echo throughout the building. And just like before, he disappeared again. He then reappeared behind his next victim and muttered, "Twin sword style 1000 slashes." And incredible speed cut the Root operative. It didn't look like he didn't do anything at first, until the Anbu fell into what seemed like 1000 pieces of flesh. He then flashed in front of the last Root operative and grabbed his face with both hands and twisted his neck, making the sickening crack echo throughout the room. The Root Anbu operative dropped to the ground twitching, causing Naruto to stare in disgust as he stomped the ANBU's head, turning it into splattered brains across the floor. Naruto turned and stared at Danzo with nothing but pure hate and killing intent, causing the man to shake. Naruto then straightened up as he got the memories of his clones, causing him to smile devilishly. Now that the civilian council and elders are dead, Danzo is the only problem left. Naruto thought while grinning sadistically. "Danzo, I know you have 5 Sharingan in that so-called injured arm, and you have Shisui's eye in your right socket. But that doesn't matter, because," Naruto said as he disappeared and reappeared in front of Danzo and took Shisui's eye out the Warhawk's socket, causing the man to scream in pain. "You are going to die." He finished. "You see, without Shisui's eye, the other Sharingan in that arm are useless. So you know what that means, don't you, Danzo?" Naruto said with an evil grin that showed his sharp canines. Danzo shook in fear. Naruto was like the devil. In so many ways more than one. He was pure evil when it came to battle. It was like staring at a Madara reincarnation. And the scary thing is that he never even used his Mangekyo Sharingan. While Danzo was thinking, Naruto took advantage of this and flashed behind Danzo and cut his arm that had Sharingan implants in them. Before Danzo could scream, Naruto's katana went into the back of his skull and out of his mouth. Danzo started twitching before his eyes went gray, signifying that he indeed had died. Naruto noticed this, and added lightning chakra to his blade, which glowed with black lightning, and cut through Danzo's head as blood splattered everywhere. Naruto shook both of his blades to get rid of the blood on his blades. Mission exterminating pests complete. Outside of the base, Naruto stood outside of the base as it began to reek of blood. He just had got done writing a letter and sent it to Makoto. After staring at the building and getting tired of the smell of blood, he went through 3 hand signs ending it with the horse hand sign. Fire-style malevolent flames from hell. He yelled as blood-red flames came from his mouth and made their way to the tall building. Naruto stood and watched as the flames burned the remains of bodies and the building with an evil smirk. Naruto, what have you done? An elderly but powerful voice asked. Naruto turned around and saw the Hokage and several of his Anbu surrounding the Hokage. What am I doing? I am simply doing something that needed to be done a long time ago. In other words, I'm finishing what my father started. Getting rid of Root completely. Getting rid of the civilian council completely. Getting rid of the elders completely. Getting rid of Danzo completely. Naruto yelled. The Hokage and Anbu looked at Naruto in horror as Naruto put them in genjutsu of what he had did. After the genjutsu was done, some of the Anbu began feeling sick and threw up their insides. The old Hokage's face was slightly green, but he kept his insides in check. He then said something that he thought he wouldn't be saying. Anbu, arrest him, the old man said as the Anbu put chakra restraining chains on Naruto, who didn't even move. The old Hokage began to speak again. Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, you are under arrest of the murder of the civilian council, elders and Rude Anbu. You are sentenced to blood prison until further noticed. How to plead? The old Hokage asked. Guilty tilde. Naruto said darkly, causing everyone to flinch. Any last words? The Hokage asked. Protect my little sister Naruko. And when you update the bingo book, label my alias as the Black Phantom. Naruto said without any emotion. The Hokage nodded. Very well. Anbu, take him away, the old man said with authority. As the Anbu left, the old Hokage stared at the fire with tears in his eyes. I'm sorry Minato, Kushina, I failed you, he said in sorrow. 9 years later, Kakashi-sensei, where are we going? Asked a girl with red hair. Currently Kakashi and Team 7, which consisted of Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto, were on ship going to an secluded place that only Kakashi knew where they were going. The Jonin and 3 Chunin were on a mission to retrieve someone from the most dangerous place, prison, in the shinobi world. Kakashi, seeing that now was a good time to tell them what the true mission was, began to talk. Well, Naruto, we're heading to the most dangerous prison known to man and shinobi alike. Kakashi stated seriously. This caught the 3 Chunin's attention. What is this prison called? The Uchiha asked curiously. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Blood prison. Kakashi answered coldly. His 3 students paled. They have heard of the infamous prison. A prison where only shinobi go to when they have committed crimes outrageous and deadly. The prison was known for its brutality and harsh ways. Why are we going there, Kakashi-sensei? The pink kid asked with slight fear. Simple. We have orders to go and free the strongest shinobi the Leaf has ever had ever since the 4th Hokage, Madara Uchiha, and Hashirama Senju. Kakashi stated plainly. Kakashi, I think you need to explain more of what is going on. Naruto stated seriously, which was in shock. Kakashi took a deep breath and sighed, which he realized that he has been doing a lot lately, and began to talk. Alright, you 3 listen, because this is about to be a long story. Kakashi said seriously, which caused the 3 Chunin to huddle up together to listen. The man that Lady Tsunade decided to release is a dangerous man. In sulfur monosulfide ranked ninja in the bingo books. In Konoha, way before you 3 were born, he was in the graduating class with Itachi Uchiha and Shisui Uchiha. The 3 were tied for Rookie of the Year, which was in first in Konoha history. But this man was faster than Shisui and stronger than Itachi. The 3 were a Genin team and stayed Genin until after 6 months. They entered the Chunin exams and became Chunin at age 7 and became Jonin at age 9. The Anbu commander saw potential in the 3 boys and recruited them for Anbu. The 3 worked their way up to the ranks in the Anbu. The 3 became the strongest Anbu captains in history. But out of the 3, the strongest of them was next in line to become the Anbu commander. His friends were happy for him. When he became commander, he made Itachi and Shisui his right-hand man. But things started to get out of hand. Once Shisui got his Mangekyo Sharingan, Danzo went and took one of his eyes. Shisui, who was dying from the poison, gave Itachi his other eye and committed suicide. Seeing his best friend kill himself, Itachi too gained the Mangekyo. He was forced to make a tough decision. Let his clan take over Konoha or kill his whole clan. Itachi chose to kill his clan in order to protect the village, but in order for him to do that, he would have to spare his brother and his mother. After committing the massacre, Itachi fled the Leaf and became a rogue ninja. The Anbu commander found out what really happened to his friends and was furious. He too awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. The Anbu commander went on a rampage and killed Danzo, the civilian council, the root Anbu, and saved his little sister from Danzo and killed the elders for forcing Itachi to kill the Uchiha clan. Kakashi stopped to see his team's reaction. The three Chunin were horrified and shook to the core. Sasuke didn't know how to feel. First Kakashi was telling him there was an Uchiha stronger than his brother and faster than his cousin. He was happy there was another Uchiha alive but was terrified of his clansman power. From what heard from Kakashi, this man sounded powerful. Truly powerful. To become an Anbu commander at the age of 11 was no joke. Sasuke then realized that his sensei didn't tell them his name. "Oi sensei?" Sasuke asked to get his teacher's attention. What is it, Sasuke? This other Uchiha, what is his name? You never mentioned it to us. Sasuke asked. The other two Chunin realized that their sensei mentioned his name, so they listened closely. Tilda. His name is Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. Kakashi stated with an eye smile. Namikaze? Why does that sound familiar? Namikaze? Naruto stated in shock. She knew that last name. It was her father's last name. She met him while she almost let the Kyuubi out during the Pain invasion. Wait, if his name is Namikaze, then that means… Naruto eyes widen. Kakashi saw this and smirked. It seems you caught on, Naruto. Naruto Namikaze Uchiha is the son of the 4th Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. He is also the heir to the Namikaze clan and is also the true heir to the Uchiha clan. Kakashi stated, much to the shock of his team. Sasuke looked at him with narrowed eyes. What do you mean he is the true heir to the Uchiha clan? Exactly what I said. Naruto's grandfather was none other than Madara Uchiha. Kakashi stated. Sasuke paled. He's heard stories about the ghost of the Uchiha. If this Naruto was anything like his grandfather, then he would have to be careful about what he says. Time skip. We see Team 7 walking with a guard sweating like he ran a marathon. They were walking down a dark hallway and the only light they had was a torch. Coming to the end of the hall, the guard looked at the team and gulped. He then turned to the door and began to talk. Namikaze-san, you have visitors, the guard said. He waited for a minute and began to unlock and open up the door. Once he got the door to open, they walked in and saw a very tall man who stood at the height of 6 feet 6 with black long spiky hair that reached to his lower back. With 2 chin-length bangs with golden blonde highlights with one bang covering his left eye. The man had on a straight jacket that had chakra repression seals written all over them. He had on black slacks and was barefoot. He had his mother's purple eyes, but the weird thing about them is that he had slits for pupils. His purple eyes glowed in the dark menacingly as he stared at the team. Once he was done, he looked the guard with a look that said, "Get out," in which the guard complied. Naruto sighed and walked to his bed and sat down and saw that the team was still standing. Getting slightly annoyed, he began to talk in a deep, smooth but stern voice. His voice is exactly like Madara's. Well, are you going to stand there or are we going to get down to business? He asked sternly. Kakashi stepped forward and cleared his throat and began to talk. Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. By order of the 5th Hokage, Tsunade Senju, you're to be released and come back to Konoha. Kakashi finished while sweating slightly. Naruto looked at his former captain with an raised eyebrow and then looked at the Chunin. He saw two that made his eyes widen slightly. Little Sasuke, is that you? He asked with a light tone that made Sasuke's eyes widen. Why, you know me? He asked the man. Of course I do. Who do you think made all the things you used to eat that had anything dealing with tomatoes? Naruto said with a smirk. Sasuke thought for a minute before his eyes widened again with tears in his eyes. Naru ni? he asked hopefully. The one and only. How's it going, you tomato-loving brat? Naruto asked with a chuckle. Sasuke had a river full of tears falling from his eyes. How? They told me you died during a mission. How are you alive? He asked with a voice full of pain. Me? Dying on a mission? Bitch, please. All of my missions are 100% successful. I was in this crappy-ass place after I killed Danzo and the elders and rescued my little sister. Speaking of which, how did they treat you, Naruto? I hope they treated you like father wanted to. 'Cause if they didn't, the village will realize why I'm known as the Black Phantom of the Leaf. Naruto finished with a cold voice that made Kakashi pale. Naruto then looked at the girl who had pink hair, which caused the girl to get nervous. He squinted, then realized who she was. You're that little I found in the forest crying because your friends were picking on your forehead, aren't you? Naruto asked. He found her while on the way back from an assassination mission. Sakura's eyes widened as she remembered the Anbu from her childhood who took her out for ice cream and took her to the park because she was bullied for her forehead. She was then dropped off at her parents' house and she would see the Anbu once a month, but it stopped when she began the academy. Why, you're that Anbu that had cool but scary looking mask? She asked in shock, in which Naruto nodded. He turned to Kakashi and narrowed his eyes. Why does Konoha need me now? Our village was invaded and destroyed by the Akatsuki and your sister defeated them and had the person behind the invasion revive everyone including me. How? With the Rinnegan? Oh, the Rinnegan you say? Interesting. Very interesting indeed. What did you do with the Rinnegan? Lady Tsunade has them in a secret place in the village that no one knows about. Good. I can't believe Ba-chan became Hokage. How's Jiraiya-sensei? He nearly died trying to fight pain on his own, but instead he lost his left arm in the process. Kakashi stated. It felt good to talk to his little brother again after all these years. Damn bastard. He's always rushing and trying to be heroic. He's going to hear a piece of my mind once I get out. Naruto said with a sadistic smirk that would have made Madara proud. So Naruto, are you ready to leave this hellhole? Kakashi asked with a smirk. The blonde smiled with his surprisingly sharp and long canine showing in a feral way. Get me the fuck out here. Time skip. Naruto walked out of the prison in black combat ninja boots, a black track suit similar to his father's with white armbands and Konoha Jonin vest. He also had on his haori that was similar to his father's but the kanji for Black Phantom on the back. The haori was black with white flames at the bottom of the haori. He had on his grandfather's ninja gloves and his gunbai strapped to his back. He also had two black katanas strapped to his back. The blade was made out of chakra metal and the hand was black with white diamond designs. All in all, Naruto looked badass. Now he just need to get these seals that was off his body. Alright Namikaze-san, I'm going to take of these seals and you are free to go. Don't go out there causing too much trouble. Just get these damn seals off me so I can get out of this miserable place. Naruto said with a deadpan voice. The guard nodded and shouted, Kai. Even though his chakra levels were at cage level while sealed, they nowhere rivaling that of Inbiju, which caused Team 7 to look at him with fear. Naruto grinned as he activated his Mangekyo Sharingan, which looked his grandfather's, and smirked sadistically. He burst in flock of black bats with red eyes and reformed behind Team 7. He let his chakra rise to 25%, which started to shake the prison and caused the people around him to fall under the pressure. Watch out world. The Black Phantom of Konoha has been released from hell and is ready for action. Naruto said as he burst into a murder of bats again while laughing evilly. It was a beautiful sunny day in the land of fire. Cool breezes flowed through the trees, birds chirping a heavenly melody, and flowers blooming beautifully. Though, we really ain't here to talk about that shit. So let's bring our attention to the 5 people walking on a road almost 20 minutes away to the Leaf Village. These 5 people are none other than Kakashi Hitaki, Sakura Haruno, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. But to be honest, you already knew that shit. While walking, Team 7 began to get curious and started asking Naruto questions which surprisingly, he didn't mind answering. And to add on to the surprise, Sasuke was the one who was asking the questions. So, Sasuke started, how are you related to Madara Uchiha? He asked. Naruto looked down at the shorter teen with an raised eyebrow. They didn't tell you? Naruto asked with raised eyebrow. The only response he got from Sasuke was an questionable look. Naruto smirked. Well, my father was the son of Madara. Naruto answered, causing Sasuke to look in shock. Wait, so you're telling me that Lord Fourth was an Uchiha all along? Sakura asked with shock evident in her voice. Naruto smiled and nodded. But, how did you gain the Sharingan but I didn't? Naruto asked with a confused look. Well, it's something I don't even know. But I guess I developed more of Dad's genes more than Mom's, which is probably the reason why I have the Sharingan. You have more of Mom's genes, which explains the why you have red hair and dense chakra that I sense from you. Naruto explained, causing Naruto to have more of an understanding of her question. What level is your Sharingan? Sasuke asked. The Mangekyo Sharingan. I haven't used them in so long, so right about now, I don't know how strong my eyes are. But once I get back to the village, I will have to transplant my eyes in order to get the new level of the Sharingan. Naruto finished. What level surpasses the Mangekyo Sharingan? The Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi said in a lazy tone. Indeed, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is last and final level of the Sharingan. The only person to achieve this level was my grandfather after receiving his brother's eyes as a gift. Naruto informed the group, but they said Madara took his brother's eyes. How were they a gift from his brother? Sakura asked, causing everyone else to look at Naruto with a questionable look. Don't believe everything you hear. My grandfather didn't take his brother's eyes. He loved his brother too deeply to even think about doing that. My uncle, Izuna, was dying and decided to give them to my grandfather so he wouldn't go blind. You see, one of the side effects of having the Mangekyo Sharingan is that if begin to use a lot in battle, you begin to become blind. Which is why I will need to transplant my father's eyes into mine so I won't have to worry about that. Naruto explained, causing the group to sit and think about the knowledge they were receiving from the elder Uchiha. But Minato-sensei didn't have the Mangekyo Sharingan. And who told you that lie? Naruto asked Kakashi with a look of boredom. Dad did have the Mangekyo Sharingan. He gained it after slaughtering those 1,000 shinobi during the Third Shinobi War. He just didn't show them because he knew of the consequences of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Hell, he barely used his Mangekyo Sharingan. He was totally different man when he used it. Trust me, I know. Naruto stated while slightly shivering. He knew from experience how ruthless his father was when he used his Sharingan. Till this day he still feels slight pity towards those Iwa shinobi who thought it was a good idea to kidnap him while he was younger. He was brought of his thoughts when his sister began to question him. Why? She asked. Why what? Naruto replied. Why did you do it? Why did kill all those people that night? She asked with narrowed eyes. Naruto looked at her with an bored look, then looked forward and stared at the village gates that were probably 5 minutes away from where they were. Why not? They deserved it. He answered without any emotion, causing the group to flinch. But couldn't you do it in a different way? Like negotiate with them? Sakura asked with slight fear. Nope, they all deserved to die that night. It was either that or the Leaf Village would be filled with nothing but parasites that would harm the village. And in order to prevent that, I decided to simply exterminate the problem before it became something grave. Naruto finished darkly, causing the group to shiver and sweat. Soon Naruto stopped and crossed his arms. Well, I'll be damned, she really did become the first female Hokage. Naruto stated with a small smirk. Team 7 caught up with him and stopped, also staring at the finished Hokage monument. Well, let's go see Lord Hokage, Kakashi said as he and his team began walking into the village along with Naruto. But not before being stopped by the Eternal Gate guards. Halt, state your business, one of the Eternal Gate guards stated. Come on guys, do we have to do this every time? You already know it's me and my team. Kakashi stated. We know that, Kakashi, we are simply doing our jobs. But who is that dude towering over you? The other gate guard asked. Well, you probably already know him, but this Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. Kakashi answered with an eye smile. The two gate guards paled. Why, you mean to tell me that giant, that is towering over you, is the Black Phantom? The first gate guard asked in awe and fear while the other shook in fear. Yep, that's him all right. Now excuse us, we have to meet with Lady Tsunade, Kakashi said as him and his team burst into a cloud smoke, leaving Naruto behind. The three men stared at each other for what seemed like forever before Naruto dissolved into a bunch of bats, leaving the two men there sweating slightly. I'm a grown-ass man and I almost pissed on myself just because he was staring at me. The gate guard stated while letting out a breath he didn't notice he was holding. You ain't the only one, Azumo. And with his hairstyle like that, it's like looking at a reincarnation of Madara and Lord Fourth. The other gate guard stated with a shaky breath. You ain't lying, Katetsu. You ain't lying, Azumo stated as they look at each other. We don't even get paid that much for this shit, they both thought at the same time. Hokage Tower. Now we bring you to the Hokage Tower. In this tower, the strongest ninja in the village resides in this building. But you already know that shit, so let's just go to the Hokage office. In this office we see the Hokage, Tsunade Senju, dealing with paper as her assistant Shizune was helping her by organizing the paperwork. The Hokage was brought out of her work as she heard a knock on the door. She sighed and began to rub her temples. Come in, she orders, slightly irritated, but her mood simply changed after she Team 7 walk into her room. She then gained confused look. Where is he? She asked seriously. Kakashi was about to respond, but black mist began to surround the room, causing everyone to be on guard. The Anbu commander dropped from her position and stood by the Hokage as the other Anbu in the room began to surround the room. The black mist began to circulate in the middle of the room, forming into a tall, lean figure. In the mist were dark, malevolent, violet eyes that had slits for pupils. But that seemed to change as they turned blood red, with 3 tomos spinning wildly. This caused everybody to shiver and break into a cold sweat in fear. The black mist disappeared, showing no one other than the Black Phantom, Naruto. The Anbu commander eyes widened in shock as tears began to form in the corner of her eyes. No way. It can't be him. That's, welcome back to Konoha, Naruto. Tsunade said in a motherly voice as she ran and gave the tall boy, tall man a hug, shocking everyone in the room. Naruto smiled a genuine smile as he returned the hug fully. It's good to be back, Tsunade-kasen. Naruto said in a deep and warming voice, causing Tsunade to shed tears in his chest. Why, you don't know how long I've been waiting to hear that, she said in tears as she hugged him tighter as if he was going to leave again. Naruto simply kissed his mother figure on the forehead. I missed you too, he said as he rubbed circles on her back as he hugged her. The Anbu in the room got down on one knee, showing respect to their former commander. The current commander was in so much shock she didn't know what to do. It's him. It's really him. He's finally back, she thought with tears falling from her eyes in happiness. Naruto then let go off the hug with Tsunade, which caused her to pout slightly. This action caused everyone to look at her with shock as Naruto just simply laughed. He then turned and looked at the Anbu, who were all on one knee except for one. He looked at her with an raised eyebrow until he figured out who it was. Tilda, you've grown so much, Yugo-chan, I didn't even notice who you were. Naruto said with a smirk. His only response was Yugo jumping on him as he legs wrapped around his torso and her arms around his neck. Her mask was off her face as tears slid down her face and onto the crook of Naruto's neck. Naruto chuckled and wrapped his arms around her waist lovingly. You came back, just like you promised, she said in tears. I told you I would be back. I never break my promises, Naruto stated as he looked at her with loving eyes. I'm sorry y'all, but this romantic shit makes me cringe every time I write a romantic scene, tears of joy. So if you cringe too, just know you are not alone, Skull. Without wasting any time, Yugo kissed him, deeply shocking everyone in the room. Kakashi just giggled like the closet pervert he is. Sakura blushed at the scene as she was thinking about a certain Uchiha. Naruko blushed also but was slightly disgusted seeing her brother make out with someone. And Sasuke tried to keep a straight face but had a slight blush on his face. Tsunade eyebrows twitched furiously. Due to her being a mother figure towards Naruto, she was overprotective towards the boy and didn't want anyone kissing her little Naru-chan. After the two were done making out, Yugo blushed furiously and jumped out of Naruto's arms. She began to cough in her hands and tried to put her professional act while still having a blush on her face. It's good to have you back, Naruto-kun, she said with a blush. Naruto smiled and put his hand on her head and started rubbing it affectionately, causing her to pout slightly. It's good to be back in the leaf, Yugo-hime, he said huskily, causing her to turn red and have steam come out her ears as she passed out. Naruto started to laugh heartily. Works every time. Yo, Tsunade-kasen, do you need me for anything? Naruto asked as he faced his mother figure. No, I just wanted to see how my Naruto-chan was doing, she said teasingly. This caused Naruto's eyebrow to twitch. I thought we agreed that you wouldn't call me that anymore, he said, slightly aggravated. We make agreement on that, Naruto-chan? She asked innocently, causing Naruto stare at her with deadpan look as he had sweat drop on the side of his head. You know what you are doing, he stated in a deadpan voice. Tsunade simply turned around and smirked. I don't know what you are talking about, Naruto-chan, she said with a shrug. O2 can play the game, Naruto thought with an evil smile that would put Orochimaru's to shame. Okay, whatever you say, Ms.106 Naruto stated with an evil smile. Tsunade's eyebrows started twitching at a fast pace. You pervert, she yelled as she turned around and tried to punch Naruto, only to find that he wasn't there anymore. Damn that brat, he's always winning. I'll get him next time for sure, she stated with fire in her eyes, causing everyone to look at her with a deadpan look. What the hell just happened? They all thought. Konoha Hospital. In a hospital room, we see a man with long white hair, in a hospital gown, reading a book labeled, Icha Icha Paradise, as he was giggling like a pervert with blood dripping from his nose. He was also missing his left arm that he had lost in a fight against his former student. This was none other than Jiraiya of the Sannin. As he was busy reading his book, the lights began to flicker, which was strange since the lights were brand new in the hospital. Jiraiya looked towards the door as he noticed what seemed like a black mist came from the top and bottom of the door. The lights then began to flicker profusely as more black mist came from under the door and made its way towards the foot of Jiraiya's bed. Jiraiya, who was slightly sweating, just stared at mist that began to form at the foot of his bed until the lights finally flickered off, causing Jiraiya to be on guard. He wasn't even to his full strength yet, so this is the worst situation that he could possibly be in. He continued to stare at the foot of his bed until he saw malevolent violet eyes with slits staring at him with anger. The pressure in the room began to rise, causing the entire room to shake violently as Jiraiya heard the walls and floor begin to crack due to the pressure and chakra being released in the room. The dark violet eyes slowed turned an evil red filled with bloodlust, causing Jiraiya to have trouble breathing as he stared in shock as he saw the eyes begin to morph in the Sharingan. We really need to have a talk, Jiraiya-sensei, the voice said in a dark serious voice, causing Jiraiya's eyes to widen to shock and fear. No, it can't be. Is it really him? Jiraiya thought. And to confirm his thoughts, the lights seemingly turned back on, showing an angry Naruto sitting at the foot of his godfather's bed with his head resting on both of his hands. If looks could kill, Jiraiya would have been killed 20 times. Jiraiya was sweating profusely. He had a good idea why Naruto was mad. Somebody had to tell him about the fight he had with Pain. Damn you, whoever told my sadistic godson about my fight. Jiraiya thought in fear. He looked at Naruto and chuckled nervously. Hey Naruto. How's my favorite godson doing on this wonderful fine day? He asked nervously, saying that seemed to piss off his godson even more than he was the first time. He could have sworn he saw the Shinigami behind him with an evil smirk while staring at him. Well, I hope they have in hot springs in heaven. Because it seems that Naruto is about finish what Pain couldn't. Jiraiya thought while mentally crying anime tears. Don't worry, Jiraiya-sensei. I just want to have a long nice chat with you. I haven't seen you in 9 years. I think we should catch up, don't you think? Naruto asked with smile that was too innocent as killing intent was felt throughout the hospital. Yep, I'm finna die. Jiraiya thought. So is there any reason why you called us here, Lady Tsunade? Well, Kakashi, I'll enlighten you since you asked so nicely. You, guys, awesome as in Kurenai's team are going to spar against Naruto today. Tsunade answered her top jonin in the leaf. The 3 jonin, except for Kurenai's, eyes widen hearing this. Excuse me, my lady, Kurenai started getting the 3 men to snap out of their shock. Who is this Naruto you speak of? Surely he can't be that strong to take on the rookie 9 and guys team. Kurenai asked as the 3 men turned to her so fast with a shocked look on their face. Seriously, Kurenai, you don't know who Naruto is? Asuma asked as he took his cigarette out of his mouth. No, should I know him? She asked, causing their eyes to widen even more, if that was even possible. Kurenai, please tell me you've heard of Konoha's Uchiha no Kaijin? Kakashi asked as she nodded, causing them to let out a breath of relief that they were holding. Wait, you're telling me that this Naruto is the legendary Black Phantom? She asked. Before anybody could answer her question, a book was thrown to her at full speed, but she caught it. The book read, "Bingo Book," in bold letters going straight across. "Read it. Go to the 3rd page, right after the 4th Hokages." Her Hokage ordered as she did and was shocked and scared to her core. Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, Black Phantom of the Uchiha. Uchiha no Kaijin, Midnight Reaper, SS rank ninja, former Anbu commander known as Ryu. Known for killing Elder Danzo Shimura and his rude Anbu. He also killed the elders and most of the civilian council and their families all in the single night, earning him the alias, the Midnight Reaper. Some former Anbu operatives have even stated that once he was caught, they were put in a genjutsu, making them witness the massacre. After witnessing the genjutsu and being put into handcuffs, he asked the 3rd Hokage to label him as the Black Phantom of Konoha. Father Minato Namikaze Uchiha deceased. Mother Kushina Uzumaki Senju deceased. Maternal grandfather Arashi Uzumaki deceased. Maternal grandmother Kana Senju deceased. Paternal grandfather Madara Uchiha deceased. Paternal grandmother Luna Namikaze deceased. Elements. Raiden is rumored to have complete control over Black Lightning. Kaden. Due to his Uchiha genes, his Kaden element is described as blood-red flames that are enough to burn through most metal. Fuuten has a strong wind affinity also, but hasn't been known to use it. Sweden. Due to his huge chakra reserves, he can create water particles out of thin air like the 2nd Hokage, and flood small if not large villages. Doden again, like his Fuuten, he barely uses this affinity only when he needs to. Dojutsu. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Skills. Taijutsu. Cage level. Genjutsu. Cage level. Kenjutsu. Cage level. Ninjutsu. Cage level. Shurikenjutsu. Anbu commander level. Fuinjutsu. Cage level. Abilities. The perfect Susanoo is the only ability shown by Naruto Uchiha, so the rest are either rumors or unknown. Flee on sight. Anbu captain and lower ranked shinobi should flee on sight when they come across Naruto Uchiha. Run for your life. Pack your shit and haul ass like your troublesome wife is chasing you around the house with an iron skillet because she found your stash of Icha paradise. In other words, run bitch. RUUUUUNNNNN. Who the hell made this bingo book? Kurenai thought. Me mortal. An unknown voice said out of nowhere. The hell? Who are you? She asked, looking around the room, causing the rest of Jonin senseis to look at her quizzically. I am your creator. The creator of world and many other worlds. You shall call me Author Sama. The voice, now known as Author Sama, replied back. TCH. Please. As if I'm supposed to believe something so irrelevant. She sneered back at him. You seem to be in love with Asuma Sarutobi. Author Sama stated coldly, causing Kurenai's eyes to widen in shock. It would be a shame if your unborn child somehow grew up without a father. Author Sama stated evilly, causing her to panic. You wouldn't? She said in fear, which caused Author Sama to laugh at her evilly. And who's stopping me? He asked with mock innocence. I won't let you, she yelled, causing everyone to stare at her in shock. Are you alright, Kurenai? Kakashi asked, in which she nodded hesitantly as she was shaking uncontrollably. Why yeah, I'm alright, she answered. The Hokage looked at her for a while but shook her head and began talking. As you can see, Kurenai, my grandson is capable of handling himself. She said with pride. I'm surprised that Kakashi didn't tell you who he was. There were 4 elite Anbu known as the 4 Horsemen of Konoha. Kakashi was one of them. Guy said, causing Kurenai's eyes to widen. She then took a step back and stared at Kakashi in slight fear. Kakashi saw this and eyes smiled. Ma tilde. Calm down, Kurenai. There is nothing to be afraid of. Kakashi stated with a chuckle. So who were the other 3 in this elite Anbu group? Kurenai asked, still with fear. Itachi Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha, and Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. The leader of the 4 Horsemen of Konoha. Guy stated as Asuma nodded. So where will we meet him, at Lord Hokage? Kakashi asked while reading his book, which caused Tsunade's eye to twitch. But she sighed and reluctantly answered. At Training Ground 7 in the lake. He said he was going for a swim. Tsunade stated as the 3 Jonin bowed and left. Training Ground 7. So this is where we supposed to meet Big Brother Naruto? Yeah, I'm kinda excited to fight him. They said he was stronger than Itachi ni. Really? Of course. How are my cute little Chunin? Yo, what's up Kakashi-sensei? Naruto greeted, causing him to smile as he patted her head, causing her to pout. Sakura just smiled at her sensei and Sasuke nodded at Kakashi. Then the rest of Rookie 9 and Team Guy body flickered to the same training ground standing in front of the large lake in front of them. So he's in there, huh? Lee asked. Indeed, Neji answered. I can't believe we are about to fight the Black Phantom of the Leaf. I heard that he has a beautiful sword. I want to see it. Foo tilde. Tenten laughed with stars in her eyes. Before anybody else could say something else, the water in the lake turned black. Life in the water began to die and it rose to the surface of the water. Suddenly a figure began to slowly rise from the water. It made its way to land and the girls began to blush. This was Naruto Namikaze himself, but shirtless and with 2 long katanas in his hand. So, you are the brats I'm supposed to fight? He asked as he stabbed both of his katanas into the ground. He then began walking towards them slowly. Every step he took caused the grass to turn black and die. He began raising his chakras slightly, which made the group of new Chunin to sweat profusely. Naruto saw this and smirked. Well, it seems can handle the pressure of 5% of my chakra. Not bad at all. Now who's going to come at me first? Naruto asked with a devilish smile, causing them to shiver. Nobody didn't move and began to piss Naruto off. Fine, have it your way, but don't say I didn't warn you. He said as he disappeared in a black mist and reappeared behind Kiba and hit him with a right hook, instantly knocking him out. Akamaru whimpered and ran to his partner, who was embedded in a tree, and checked on him to make sure he was okay. One down, Naruto said as everybody looked at him in shock and fear. He then took a full speed and appeared behind Hinata and chopped her in the back of the neck. 2 down. He counted again, but before he could move he was surrounded by Shino's bugs. Kurenai looked at Shino and smirked. There is no way he can get away from Shino's bugs. He's completely surrounded by them, she thought with a smug look. But her face soon turned into horror as black flames surrounded Naruto's body and burning the bugs instantly. Naruto raised his head and everybody noticed that his purple slitted eyes was lit with black flames. Shino didn't have to react as a fist covered in black flames was embedded in his torso. He fell to his knees and fell into unconsciousness. 1 team down, 3 more to go. Leaf Hurricane was all Naruto heard as he looked up and saw the guy look-alike trying to axe kick him. Keyword, trying. As he leg came down with full force, Naruto caught it and smiled as he deactivated his black flame cloak. That kind of hurt Lee, he stated, but grabbed Lee's leg in a firm grip. But you are going to have to do better than that, he said with a smirk as he began to slam Lee on the ground continuously until he threw with so much force that he broke 3 trees in process. Lee tried to get up but couldn't as he felt a foot on his chest. Stay down. I can tell that you are by far the most hard-working ninja out of everyone, Lee. You don't have to prove that to anyone, because you've already have. Guy did a great job training you. Or in other words, your youth burns brightly, Lee. Let your flames of youth continue to burn brightly, Naruto said with a warm smile, causing Lee's eyes to widen as tear began to well up in his eyes. Thank you, Naruto-senpai. I will continue to train harder to surpass you and Guy-sensei one day, Lee said in happy tears and with a bright smile. Naruto chuckled and patted Lee's head. I look forward to it, Lee. Now rest, Naruto said as he put his finger on Lee's forehead and Lee instantly went to sleep. Naruto threw Lee over his shoulders and body flickered in front of Guy. You did a good job with him, Guy. He shows promise, Naruto stated as he patted Guy's shoulder and removed Lee from his shoulder as he passed him to Guy. Guy smiled and nodded thanks towards Naruto. Naruto turned around and stared at the last remaining 2 of Guy's team. Naruto held his left hand out and his sword instantly came to his hand. I heard that you was Konoha's weapons mistress. Let's see if you live up to that name, Naruto stated as he ran towards her. Tenten gritted her teeth and unsealed a katana and ran towards him at full speed. They soon met in the middle, causing a small shockwave. Tenten gritted her teeth as Naruto was easily overpowering her. Good posture, but you should know the main rule in Kenjutsu. Never try to overpower your opponent who has superior and more strength than you, Naruto said as he pushed more weight down on Tenten. She began struggling bad but smirked as she got an idea. She then body flickered and tried to slash Naruto's back, but he stopped it. He then knocked her sword out of her hands, but she unsealed a tanto just in time to block Naruto's slash. But she wasn't prepared for a kick to her ribs, which caused her to slide back. She coughed up blood but held up her tanto. Naruto saw this and smirked. He then got into a stance and took a deep breath and slowly exhaled as smoke came out of his nose and mouth like a raging bull. Dark sword-style cries of the tortured souls, Naruto said as everything turned black for Tenten and all she could hear was the evil cries of tortured souls. She dropped her tanto and began to cover her ears to block out the sound, but it kept getting loud. She began screaming as tears began to fall from her face. She stopped screaming as she looked down as she saw she was bleeding from her stomach. She weakly looked behind her and saw Naruto standing behind her with his back facing hers. "Two down," was all he said, and she fell to the ground. Naruto created a clone and told it to take her to the hospital. He then put his katana down against a tree and turned to Neji, who was surprisingly in his face. Neji was pissed seeing Tenten's condition. He began hitting Naruto with the 8 trigrams 64 palm, which caused Naruto to be slammed against a tree. Naruto coughed up blood and smirked. "So you are the Jonin of the group. I'm impressed. A little bit, but I'm impressed," Naruto said with a dark chuckle. "Stay down. I closed 64 of your chakra points," Neji stated darkly. "Oh really? Who said I was the original?" Naruto said with an evil smirk as Neji's eyes widened as he felt something grip his neck. He began to be raised up from the ground as he saw his attacker suddenly appear in front of him. "Uncle Jiraiya's chameleon jutsu always come in handy," Naruto said as he put more pressure on Neji's throat. He then slammed Neji into the ground, which knocked him out instantly. Naruto stepped over Neji's body and began walking towards Kakashi's team. But his movement was stopped. He slightly struggled to turn around, but when he did he saw Shikamaru kneeling on the ground. "Shadow possession, complete," Shikamaru said as he smirked. Naruto looked at him evilly as his violet eyes glowed menacingly. He smirked darkly and began to raise his chakra, which made the people in the training ground fall to their knees. Naruto turned around, which shocked everyone, and began to walk towards Shikamaru with his chakra still leaking. His chakra felt dark and evil, darker than Orochimaru's. It also held so much malice and hatred that it caused Shikamaru to throw up, which caused him to release his shadow possession jutsu. Naruto then body flickered in front of him and punched him with so much force that his jaw fractured due to the impact. The punch left Shikamaru dazed, so he couldn't battle anymore. Naruto flashed in front of Choji and stared down on the chubby boy. "Listen brat, if you quit, I'll buy as much barbecue you want. Deal?" Naruto said with a smirk. "Deal," Choji said without missing a beat as he walked over towards Asuma and sat against the tree. Naruto chuckled as he walked over towards Ino, who began blushing as she stared at his six-pack. Era tilde. "You like what you see, Miss Yamanaka?" Naruto asked huskily, which caused Ino to have a nosebleed that knocked her out. She had a perverted smile on her face. Naruto laughed heartily. "Works every time," he stated as he turned and walked towards Kakashi's team. He stopped and stared at them before putting his hands behind his back. "Don't disappoint me, you three," Naruto said with an evil chuckle that caused them to gulp. Sasuke steeled his nerves and shot his hand out forward as it was covered in lightning. "Chidori blade," he yelled as he was about to stab Naruto in the shoulder. "A lightning affinity. That's rare for an Uchiha. Well, Itachi did have an water affinity. But be proud, Sasuke, that you made use in jutsu," Naruto stated as he jumped away from the Chidori blade. He then made 3 hand signs with his right hand and his hand was covered in black lightning. It formed into black version of Kakashi's lightning blade. "Be black lightning? How the hell does he have that, Kakashi?" "I don't know. But I do remember we did have a mission to kill some Kumo shinobi in the Anbu and they had all these scrolls and we took them. Maybe Naruto found one to support his black lightning affinity," Kakashi said as he flipped the next page of his book. "Beautiful, isn't it? But fuck all that talking. Let's dance," Naruto stated as he body flickered in front of Sasuke about to stab him with the black lightning blade. Sasuke activated his Sharingan and dodged it. It embedded the tree and the whole tree exploded into wood chips, shocking everyone. Naruto saw this and kicked Sasuke, who blocked the attack with his forearms. Sakura body flickered above Naruto and tried to punch him with an enhanced chakra punch. Naruto saw this and dodged but shivered slightly at the damage the punch did to the ground. Damn you, Ba-chan. You just had to teach somebody your enhanced strength jutsu. He thought but heard a crack from below him. His eyes widened slightly when he saw his sister erupt from the ground and try to hit him with a Rasengan. He jumped out of the way to get away from the A-ranked jutsu. While in midair, Sasuke was about to come down with his katana and try to slash Naruto in half. Naruto gritted his teeth in slight frustration and held his left hand out as his katana appeared in his hand and blocked Sasuke's slash. While landing on the ground, the two Uchiha rushed at each other and began to battle in a heated Kenjutsu battle. The sound of metal and sparks from the swords was the only thing you could see and hear. Naruto saw Sasuke trying to slash his neck and activated his Sharingan and dodged it and kicked Sasuke in the torso hard. This kick caused Sasuke to be embedded in the tree. Sakura tried to sneak up behind Naruto but he turned and punched her in the stomach, which caused her to cough up blood and fall into a deep slumber. He turned and saw his sister trying to hit him with left hook and he dodged. But somehow he was still hit. And this caused him to take some steps back but he regained his posture. Let me guess, Uncle Jiraiya taught you Sage Mode. Naruto said as he spit blood from his mouth. Naruto laughed and gained victorious smirk. Yeah, so what? I managed to land a hit on Naruto Nichan, she said as she smirked smugly. Make no mistake, that will be your first and last hit, little sister. Naruto said without emotion, which caused her to flinch. Oh really? A voice said. Naruto turned around and his eyes widened as he saw a purple skeletal hand about to crush him. Boom! Dust covered the whole training ground. Once the dust cleared, everyone's eyes widened as they saw a gray large hand, holding Sasuke's purple skeletal hand. Sasuke's eyes widened but before he could react, Naruto's Susanoo hand slammed Sasuke's on the ground very hard, knocking him out of his Susanoo. Naruto stared at her brother in awe and fear but before she could react, she was punched in the stomach harshly, causing her throw up. She was then kicked towards her teammates and roughly landed against a tree. Impressive. You three actually made me use my Sharingan, nonetheless my incomplete Susanoo too. Very impressive indeed, but in the end you all are not strong enough. Naruto stated as he created large scythe out of black lightning and made an slash over their heads as all the trees behind them was cut in half and disintegrated. This action caused Naruto and Sasuke to stare at Naruto in fear as they began to stand up again. Naruto saw this and smirked darkly. Still wish to fight? Don't make a fool of yourself. Maybe I should show a little of my true power. Naruto said darkly as black veins began to spread throughout his whole body. His eyes turned a solid midnight black. Even his sclera turned pitch black. His canine teeth at the top and bottom part of his mouth got sharper and longer. His ears started to look like elf ears. To say that everyone except for Kakashi was terrified was an understatement. Naruto looked demonic and his smile didn't make it any better. His chakra began shaking the training ground violently. Naruto said only one word and it would forever be stuck in their heads. Kneel, Naruto said in dark and deep demonic voice. Everyone who was around Naruto and heard it did just as he said. They kneeled. It was as if a force was bringing them down to kneel. A very strong force. Everyone that was conscious was on two knees, kneeling. Bo! Naruto yelled out as they once again did as he said, which caused him to laugh darkly. His laugh sent shivers down everyone's spine. Kurenai was terrified. She knew that leader of the four horsemen was strong, but this was ridiculous. Rise to your feet, he yelled to them, and like drones, they followed his command. Naruto went back to his normal appearance and took a deep breath and exhaled. The training ground was a mess. He sighed and went to the lake and saw that the water was gone. He went through 10 hand signs and ended it with the dog hand sign. Water style Poseidon's wrath. Naruto yelled as he slammed his hands on the ground, causing raging waves to erupt from under the ground, refilling the lake once again. He then turned and made 2 clones. One went to the left side of the training field and one went to the right side of the training field while he went forward. He then slapped his hands together and said something that even shocked Kakashi. Wood-style deep forest emergence. He and his clones yelled in a union as they slammed their hands on the ground, causing new and huge trees to erupt from the ground. Once he was done he held out both of his hands, and his two katanas appeared in his hand. Naruto. He called out to his little sister. What is it Ni-chan? She asked, still in fear of what she just witnessed. Don't come home late, tilde, he said as he disappeared in a flock of bats. What the hell is that smell? Kakashi asked. Kurenai blushed brightly in embarrassment. Kurenai, did you? Shut up Kakashi, she yelled in embarrassment. Kurenai had pissed herself. Uchiha compound. Makoto Uchiha, mother to Itachi Uchiha and Sasuke Uchiha, was happily cooking and humming her favorite tune. After putting the last ingredient into her food, she let it sit on the stove to simmer in the food. Grabbing a towel she wiped the sweat from her eyebrows. Hearing a knock at the door, she put the towel down and walked towards the door happily. Once she got to her door, she opened it and was shocked to see a tall man in front of her. She didn't recognize the man, so she scrunched up her face to try and remember who was this man until she saw violet slitted eyes. Her eyes widened in shock as she put her hand over mouth. Tears began to fall from her eyes as she heard what the man said that answered her suspicion. I'm home, Makoto Kachan, the man said warmly. Naruto-kun, she yelled out as she hugged her surrogate son tightly as tears fell from eyes like a waterfall. Naruto returned the hug fully as he shedded a few tears himself. My sweet, sweet boy. I've missed you so much. Don't you ever leave me like that again. Ever. Do you understand me? She cried out, hugging Naruto as if he was going to leave again. Naruto began rubbing circles on his surrogate mother's back to calm her down. I understand. I'm home now Makoto Kachan. I'm here to stay. I won't leave you again. I promise. Kachan. Naruto said warmly as he hugged the woman took care of him after his real mother's death. She grabbed Naruto's head to bring it down and kissed his forehead. This caused him to blush slightly, which made Makoto laugh happily as she rubbed his slightly noticeable whiskers on his face. My baby boy is home. My baby boy is home, she said in pure joy as she hugged him again out of excitement, which caused Naruto to laugh heartily. It's great to be back home, he thought with a warm smile. So why have been called Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked as her and Team 7 were walking to the Hokage mansion. I don't know. I just know that we and the other teams have been summoned to go to the Hokage mansion. Kakashi told his student as his other two students were thinking about something. He looked at the Hokage mansion and sighed. Come on, let's not keep Lady Hokage waiting, he said with an eye smile as he and his team body flickered and sighed. Scene change. Team 7 walked in to see the rest of the Rookie 9 and Guys team along with the team senseis. Naruto looked towards the Hokage desk and saw that the chair was facing towards the windows. Oi Granny, why did you summon us? Naruto asked. All she got as an answer was a deep chuckle. I can assure you that I'm not Granny, the voice said as the chair turned around to face them, shocking everybody in the room. Ni-san? Naruto yelled with wide eyes. Naruto laughed as he stood up to his full height, which was still shocking to some people in the room. Hello Naruto. Let me introduce myself. I am Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, your 6th Hokage, Naruto said with a smirk. Sasuke stared at him with a look of amazement like the other genin and jonin in the room. How? Kakashi asked. Well, after that sparring match 2 weeks ago, Tsunade Kachan decided to step down and let me have the position. She is now in charge of the whole hospital. At first, I didn't want it, but I thought about it and said fuck it, why not? Naruto answered bluntly with a shrug, causing everybody to sweat drop at his antics. But that's not why I summoned you here, Naruto said in a serious tone, causing everyone to waver at first, but they also looked at him in serious. Naruto saw this and sat down in his seat, resting his head on top of his hands. To cut straight to the chase, we might be going to war, Naruto said emotionless, causing everybody's eyes to widen. A war against another village? Shikamaru asked. No, against the Akatsuki, Naruto asked. But how? I thought the Akatsuki was dealt with, Kurenai stated. Have you forgotten the true mastermind in the Akatsuki? Naruto asked the ninja in front of him. Naruto looked at her brother in confusion. Before her she looked at him with recognition in her eyes. Madara, she answered. Correct. This so-called Madara might start a war in order to get the 2 remaining tailed beasts. He already has the other 7 in his grasps, and I'll be damned if he gets his hands on my little sister. Naruto said coldly as his eyes flashed red for a second, causing everyone to gulp in fear. But how do you know all this will happen, Naruto ni? Sasuke asked his older brother figure. Naruto looked at him and smirked like in typical Uchiha. You know how every Uchiha has a special technique of their own when they awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan? Naruto asked as Sasuke and everybody in the room nodded their head. Well, I want you to guess mines. Naruto said as he activated his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, causing everyone to shake in fear due to the immense power behind his eyes. Sasuke looked down to the ground thoughtfully until he gasped and looked at the new Hokage in shock. Why your eyes? They can see into the future? Sasuke asked as everybody's eyes widened and their jaws dropped. Naruto chuckled warmly before nodding. Bingo! My eyes are very special. That is only one of the amazing things these eyes of mine can do. Naruto stated. But as I said, we might be going into war, so I'm going to need everybody to be at least an S rank in a month and a half. Naruto said. Before anybody began asking questions, he began again. Sasuke, you will get your father's eyes. That way you will not get blind on the battlefield. You will also be training with Mikoto Kachin in Genjutsu. From what I heard that Orochimaru attacked the village while I was in jail, but at this point, I don't give a fuck. I asked him to come back to the village and I'm waiting for his answer. And if he does return, he will be training you in Kenjutsu. You will also be training with some Anbu operatives to get your fire and lightning ninjutsu up to top notch. You and Naruto are the only ones close to cage-level shinobi in this village besides Kakashi and Guy. I need you two in top shape since you both are my heavy hitters. Do you understand? Naruto said in seriousness. Yes, Lord Hokage. Sasuke answered without missing a beat. Good. Now step forward and get your Jonin vest. Naruto said as he put a Jonin vest on the table for Sasuke. Sasuke got his vest and stared at it. Thank you, Naruto ni. He said gratefully. No need to thank me. No, go meet your mother at the hospital. She has your father's eyes. You and her will meet up with Tsunade and transplant your eyes. You are dismissed, he stated as Sasuke nodded and disappeared in a flock of crows. Sakura. Yes, Lord Hokage? You also need to report to the hospital. You will be training with Tsunade and Shizune. Grab your Jonin vest and you are dismissed. Naruto ordered. She grabbed her vest and it disappeared in a body flicker. What about me, Naruto ni? Naruto asked, getting Naruto's attention. You will be coming with me to the Cage Summit along with Yamato. He and I will be training you. Now step up, grab a Jonin vest and go pack up for a month. We leave tomorrow. Naruto said darkly, causing his sister to sweat profusely as she nodded and grabbed her new Jonin vest and disappeared in a burst of wind. Hinata Hyuga. Why yes, my lord? She asked nervously. You will be training with Anko. Naruto stated, causing everyone to pale. Kurenai looked at the Hokage like he grew a second head. My lord, would it be wise if I train her? She asked him. Naruto just looked at her with a deadpan look. No, he answered. Silence. You had enough time to train and get her out this, whatever the fuck that is. She is too kind-hearted. Too kind-hearted for ninja. Why she chose to be one I don't know. We are about to go to war. I can't have her hesitating on the battlefield and getting any of my shinobi killed because of her freezing up in front of the enemy. Naruto stated in a cold tone as his eyes narrowed at Kurenai. What would you know? You are nothing but a cold-blooded killer. She yelled. And you are the woman who decided to put Itachi Uchiha in a fucking genjutsu and was planning to drown Kisame Hoshigaki. If you were dumb enough to do that, what makes it right if I leave Hinata in your care, woman? Naruto barked back, causing her to flinch and drop her head in shame. There was a pregnant silence in the room. Matter of fact, Hinata, have you had your first kill? Naruto asked as he looked at her. Hinata shook her head no and Naruto snorted. Oh, this is rich. Grab your Jonin vest and stand back for a while. He ordered as she stepped and grabbed her vest and held it closely. What are you going to do? Kurenai asked in a worried tone. Something you should have done a long time ago. Bear! Naruto yelled as an Anbu dropped down from the ceiling. Yes, Lord Hokage? Find Anko. And when you do, tell her she has an apprentice that will be waiting for her at the T&I department. Dismissed. Naruto said as the Anbu disappeared in a silent body flicker. Hinata Hyuga, you and Anko will execute a prisoner for treason. Am I understood? He asked as she nodded sadly. Listen Hinata, just because you kill someone doesn't make you a monster. The only time you become a monster is when you take joy in killing. If you still feel remorse after killing somebody, that shows that you aren't a monster but a human being. Remember that, okay? Naruto said as walked towards her and patted her head, giving her a warm smile. Yes, Lord Hokage, she said softly. Good, you are dismissed. Meet Enko in the T&I department. Naruto ordered as he walked back to his seat and sat down. Hinata disappeared in a leaf body flicker. Kurenai, you will not be fighting in this war. Naruto said, shocking everyone. What? Why? She asked. Oh please woman, you know exactly the reason why. Naruto said as everyone stared at him with unquestionable look. Naruto sighed. I will not have a pregnant woman fighting on the front lines. Congrats Asuma, you're going to be a father. Naruto said with a smile. Asuma's eyes widened as he stared at Kurenai with hope in his eyes. Is it true? He asked. Kurenai blushed and nodded. She wasn't expecting Asuma to bring her in to hug and spin her around. I'm going to be a father. He yelled in happiness as Kurenai just giggled at her boyfriend's antics. Naruto smiled at this scene as it brought memories of when his father and mother found out that they were going to have Naruto. Asuma, Kurenai, you are dismissed. Go celebrate, I'll handle your team. Naruto said warmly. Kurenai walked up to him and bowed. I'm sorry for what I said earlier, Lord Hokage. It won't happen again. She apologized. Naruto simply just chuckled. Nah, it's alright. I understand where you were coming from. Now get out of here. And Asuma, don't forget what I said. Naruto reminded. I won't my lord. He answered as he and Kurenai disappeared in a body flicker. Tenten, you will be training with the Anbu Commander Cat in Kenjutsu. I will also leave a blood clone to help you with seals since my godfather is still recovering. Your taijutsu training will still be held by Guy. You will also be training in ninjutsu by my blood clone. Naruto said as she had stars in her eyes. Cat, Naruto yelled as the Anbu commander appeared beside him. Yes my love? She said in an emotionless tone. You are to train newly Jonin Tenten to the best of your abilities. Am I understood? Naruto asked with a smirk as Yugo grinned behind the mask evilly. Yes my love, she answered. Good. Tenten, grab your Jonin vest and you and my girlfriend are dismissed. He ordered as the Anbu commander grabbed Tenten's shoulder and disappeared in a body flicker. Neji, you are also close to being a cage-level shinobi. Whatever you are doing, keep it up. But also try working with ninjutsu and weapons. War is coming and we will need every advantage we can get. Same goes for you Kiba and Shino. Understood? Naruto asked in a tone of superiority. Yes Lord Hokage. They answered in a unison. Good, you two can get your Jonin vest and you are dismissed. And Neji, start wearing your Jonin vest. Naruto said as they nodded. Shino and Kiba stepped forward to get their Jonin vest. They grabbed it and bowed to Naruto before leaving with Neji. Guy, you will be training Lee in everything in taijutsu. And I mean everything. Understood? Naruto asked as Guy nodded and gave Naruto a thumbs up and a huge smile. You got it Lord Hokage. Come on Lee. Let's go make our flames of youth burn brightly. Guy said as he looked at Lee. Yes Guy-sensei. Lee yelled as he and his sensei ran out of the room but not before Lee grabbed his Jonin vest. Naruto sighed and looked at the last four in the room. And then there was 4. Kakashi ni? Naruto said getting his older brother's attention. What is it lil bro? I want you to be at the same level you used to be when we were a group in the Anbu. Naruto said as Kakashi's eyes widened slightly but he nodded. Meaning you should be an S-rank ninja when I come back. Oh and while I'm gone, you are going to be the substitute Hokage. So I hope you can improvise. Naruto said with an innocent smile causing Kakashi to pale. Why you're joking right? Right? Am I laughing big bro? Naruto asked innocently as Kakashi began to cry anime tears. Now, Shikamaru. Naruto stated ignoring Kakashi's crying and sulking. You need to train in physical strength and taijutsu. You can't go out on the battlefield with a strong mind and not have a strong body. Also, you three need to stop relying on your clan techniques so much. Don't get me wrong, they are indeed helpful. But you three need a bigger arsenal. Find out your chakra natures and begin working on justice. Find weapons that are suitable for you and that you'll feel comfortable with. Ino, you also need physical training and taijutsu training. Choji, you need to work on your speed and your taijutsu. When I get back from this summit, I want to see a different Ino Shikacho. Am I clear? Naruto said in a commanding tone. Yes, Lord Hokage, they yelled in a unison. Good. Get your Jonin vest and you are dismissed. And Kakashi, you start being substitute Hokage tomorrow. You are also dismissed. Naruto ordered as the four of them disappeared. Naruto stood up and walked to the window and stared at the village. Well, Mom, Dad, I'm Hokage now. Naruto said to himself. My lord, you have paperwork to do. A woman said from behind him with paperwork in her hands. Naruto made an hand sign and 5 clones popped up beside him. You know what to do, was he said as the clones nodded and split the paperwork between each other. The woman just stared at the newly made Hokage in shock as he continued to stare out the window. Naruto smirked victoriously. Can't pull that paperwork shit on me. Work smarter, not harder. Naruto said as he laughed evilly, causing the woman to sweat drop and take step back from the young Hokage. I just wanted a normal job, she thought as she continued walk backwards. Naruto stopped laughing and sat back down in his chair and took off the Hokage hat. You are dismissed, Shuri, Naruto said warmly. The woman nodded and left the office. Naruto began tapping his finger against the desk. Fuck it, I'm going to get some barbecue, Naruto stated as he grabbed his personal Hokage hat, and left the office, leaving the clones to the paperwork. The door opened back up and Naruto looked at his clones. You guys want something to eat? He asked. Teriyaki chicken with chicken fried rice. Clone 1 answered. Miso ramen with slices of beef and with 4 boiled eggs. Clone 2 also answered. 20 sticks of yakitori, 10 beef and 10 chicken. Clone 3 said without looking up from the paperwork. Sushi. Clone 4 simply said as he was spinning a pin around while reading the paperwork. 10 sticks of dango. Clone 5 said happily. Got it. Anything to drink? Naruto asked while writing a list down like a waiter. Tea. Clone 5 answered first. Pink lemonade. Clone 1 said simply. Water. Clone 4 said while signing paperwork. I'll also get tea. Clone 3 said while throwing away some irrelevant paperwork. Get me a regular lemonade. Clone 2 answered lastly as he was reading the paperwork carefully. Alright, I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. Naruto said as he closed the door behind him. Well, that was nice of him. Clone 3 said while balancing a pen on his fingers. Yeah, if we get food every time we do this paperwork, then I wouldn't mind doing it every day. Clone 5 said as looked up with a smile. You can say that again. Clone 1 said as he threw away some more irrelevant paperwork. I can do this for the rest of my life if I get to eat free. Clone 2 stated as he signed some more paperwork. Guys, I know you are happy, but let's get this shit over with. Clone 4 said with a sigh as the other nodded and began silently doing the paperwork. Scene change. In a dark cave, a lone figure sat in the dark with a small smile on his face as he got the memory of a clone. It seems you have returned, my friend. It seems that it's time for me to return as well, he stated with small smile as his eyes flashed into the matured Sharingan. We shall meet again, Naruto. So Naruto ni, what will I be training in while I'm traveling with you? Naruko asked her older brother. It's been a day since they left the village and she was happy that she could spend some quality time with her older brother. Well, first, we are going to teach you how to control your chakra chains first, Naruto stated while writing down important notes in his notebook. But I thought I had good control over them, Naruko said as she looked up at her tall brother. She still couldn't get over how tall her brother was. Hell, he was even taller than Pervy Sage. Oh, you have the right control over them to capture the average ninja hostage. I want you to have a good control over them to be able to hold a tailed beast hostage like Mom, Naruto said as he put his small notebook in his Jonin jacket. He then took the Hokage hat off his head and let it rest on his back. To control a tailed beast? Naruko yelled in shock. Yep, Naruto simply answered while fixing his haori. And you're telling me Mom could do this? She asked in bewilderment. If I remember, Lady Kushina was the one to hold the 9 tails hostage in order for Lord Fourth to seal it inside of you, Yamato stated, which caused Naruto to nod his head. Yes, you are correct, Yamato. Even after giving birth to you, she still managed to hold down the 9 tails that night, Naruto said with a sad smile. Is there a reason why you want me to control my adamantine chains to such a degree, big brother? Naruko asked seriously, which surprised Naruto slightly before he grinned. Well, my cute little sister, The reason why is because you will need these chains in order to help you with controlling the Nine Tails' power. Naruto said, which caused Naruto's eyes to widen. See, control its power? Naruto asked with slight doubt in her voice that didn't go unnoticed by Naruto and Yamato. Yes, but do you think I'm strong enough to control his power? Naruto asked with her head down. Naruto saw this and flicked her forehead. Ow, what was that for? She yelled while rubbing her forehead. Baka, Naruto simply said as he smiled down warmly at his little sister. What? She asked. If there is anybody that can control the Nine Tails chakra, then it's you. I know you can, because I believe in you, Naruto said as patted his little sister's head affectionately. This action caused her to blush in embarrassment, but she smiled at her older brother. Thank you, Naruto ni, she said happily as she hugged him tightly. Naruto chuckled heartily at his sister and returned the hug fully. No need to thank me, Ruko-chan, Naruto said with a smirk. Ni-san, Naruto yelled with a flustered face as she buried her face into her brother's abs. What? It's a cute name for my cute little sister, Naruto said as he looked down at his sister who was still flustered. But it's still embarrassing, she said as she looked down with a pout. Naruto smiled and began walking, as did Yamato and Naruto. Ni-san, is there any other reason why you brought me with you? Naruto asked curiously. Yes, I heard that your dream was to become Hokage. So I decided to bring you just to show you what to expect when you become the next Hokage, Naruto said with a smile. Naruto smiled and nodded at her big brother. It made her feel happy that somebody else believed that she would become Hokage. It filled her with courage and passion that made her want to chase after her dream more. While she was thinking, she thought about the demonic transformation that her brother went through when the spared 2 weeks ago. Naruto ni? She called out. Naruto answered his sister. What was that transformation you went through during the spar against us? Naruto asked, causing Naruto to stop in his tracks. Yamato saw this and looked toward his newly made Hokage. Naruto got scared about asking the question and was about to say something until Naruto started chuckling. I knew you would ask. Come, let's stop at this dango shop and I'll tell you and Yamato what the transformation is, Naruto said as he smiled and walked ahead to the shop with the two Jonin following him. Time skip. So you want to know what the transformation is? Naruto asked as he took the dango stick out of his mouth and stared at his sister and personal bodyguard. Naruto and Yamato nodded their heads in response as Naruto sighed and sat the Hokage hat beside him. He ran a hand through his hair and smiled. Very well. You might want to sit back and relax because it's going to be a long story, Naruto stated as the two ninja in front of him got comfortable before focusing their attention on him. Naruto sighed and began talking. That transformation you saw me go under is a curse. More specifically, a curse from the Shinigami himself, Naruto stated, which shook the two ninja in front of him. Shinigami? Dear Kami. Yes. It's known as the Curse of the Namikaze. The curse was first given during the times when Hashirama Senju reigned as the first Hokage. Back then, the Namikaze clan was nothing more than a clan full of merchants and seal masters. Only a few members of the Namikaze clan became ninjas. Their intellect rivaled that of Inara. There was also a select few born with the swift-release Kekkei Genkei. Dad wasn't the one born with it, which is why he resorted to the Flying Raijin. But back to the story. The curse began when one of the merchants, who was also an seal master, summoned the Shinigami. Naruto looked at the two ninja to see if they wanted to ask a question. Naruto, who raised her hand like she was in the academy, asked a question that was on Yamato's mind. Naruto ni? She said. Shoot, why would he summon the Shinigami? Naruto asked with a confused look on his face. I was just getting to that, so listen, Naruto said as she nodded, and Naruto took a deep breath before talking again. As I said, he summoned the Shinigami in plans of doing something selfish. The Shinigami became angry that a mortal summoned him and was about to kill the merchant before the merchant said something that caught his interest. The merchant asked to be the best merchant and seal master in the elemental nations, and in return he would gladly give his soul to the Shinigami. The Shinigami thought about it and granted his wish and told the merchant that he would let him live, but he would soon come for his soul when it was time. The merchant began to make the best weapons for Konoha, which brought a lot of money to Konoha and him. His Fuinjustu was on par with Mito Uzumaki, the first Hokage's wife. Once he got rich, he began to change. He began to get greedy for more money. When it was his time for the Shinigami to take his soul, he looked the Shinigami in the eyes and flat told him that he couldn't get his soul. The Shinigami grew furious and was about to kill him until he got an idea. An idea that would change the Namikaze clan forever. The Shinigami placed a curse on every Namikaze firstborn that was born throughout the Namikaze clan forever. When the merchant got married and had a child, he was happy, but what he didn't know that his son was cursed. Once the son got older, the merchant and his wife had another child. When the oldest son became 18, the curse started to take effect on him. The curse would start to damage his mind and he would begin to have thoughts of murdering his family. He tried to fight off the curse as long as he could, but in the end it inevitable. The curse would take over and make the oldest son murder his whole family brutally in one night. Was the curse resided, the oldest son would fall into deep depression and guilt and would soon take his own life by stabbing his heart. This continued to happen with every firstborn Namikaze until Dad was born. He was the second-born child in his family. He and his older brother had two different fathers. His older father died during a war, and you should know who Dad's father is. Once Dad's older brother turned 18, the curse started to take effect on him. Madara had left the village and Dad's mom had died over a sickness. On the way home to the Namikaze clan compound, Dad noticed that every light was off and it was early, which made it weird. Once he made it home, he saw that every member of his clan was torn apart brutally. Men, women, elderly and young children decapitated with a look of fear shocked their face. Dad rushed to his house and ran in only to find his brother covered in blood head to toe, crying his heart out, saying he was sorry over and over again. After murdering the entire Namikaze clan, he decided that he couldn't take the mental torture anymore. He killed himself by cutting his throat, right in front of Dad. This caused Dad to awaken the Sharingan to its true potential. The matured version of the Sharingan. Naruto took a deep breath and took a sip of water and looked at his sister and Yamato, who had horrified looks on their faces. "Captain Yamato, is it me or does it sound similar to the Uchiha massacre?" Naruto said. Yamato eyes widened in realization. "It most certainly does, Naruto. Lord Hokage, how come your story is similar to the Uchiha massacre?" Yamato asked. "Simple. Because the Uchiha was cursed too," Naruto simply stated, causing Naruto's eyes to widen in disbelief. "No way," she said in shock. "Oh, but it's true, little sister. The Namikaze curse and the Uchiha curse are similar and different in both ways. The Uchiha curse is based on love and hatred that an Uchiha feels, while the Namikaze curse curses your sanity," Naruto said, explaining it to the two shinobi in front of him. "Let's start with the Uchiha. An Uchiha begins to fall into the curse of hatred when they see the person they love the most dies in front of them. This caused the Mangekyo Sharingan to awaken. Some Uchihas, mostly half-blooded Uchihas, don't fall into this hate. They could awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan during intense training or a lot of stress in the brain. A full-blooded Uchiha has to see the person they love be killed in front of them, or they are the ones killing someone they love," Naruto said darkly, causing Naruto to gasp and Yamato to close his eyes and sigh since he knew the truth. "Now the Namikaze curse is based on your sanity. Once you are about 13, you begin to hear voices in your head, but barely. But as you get older, the voices become louder, darker, and more evil to the point where you can't properly sleep at night. By the time you are 18, the curse will try to take over when you are not in control of your emotions. This can cause you to turn into an unstable killing machine. You will start killing everything in your path until you are low on chakra. These two curses are similar because they will drive you to the brink of insanity," Naruto stated as he took another sip of his water. "Well, big brother, how are you not insane right now?" Naruto asked as Yamato looked towards the young Hokage with a questionable look. Naruto simply smiled at the two Jonin. "That is because I am the first Namikaze to have complete control over my curse," Naruto said, shocking them. "How?" Yamato asked, shocked. "Well, when you in a prison for over 9 years and that same prison restricts you from using your chakra, the only thing you can do is train your mind mentally. You can't have a strong body without having a strong mind. A strong body can only get you so far. But when you have a strong mind with a strong will, you are unstoppable. The mind is the most important thing in your body. So while I was in prison, I would meditate and calm my mind since I couldn't train with my chakra. But my chakra just kept getting stronger and denser each day, each month, each year. I began to control my curse until I had complete control of it. Once I had complete control over it, I called it demonic sage mode. There are 3 modes to this cursed sage mode. Naruto, you only saw the first and you know how powerful it was. Naruto stated as Naruto shivered in fear. Yamato was confused, so he asked how strong was the first mode of the sage mode. It was so strong that he only has to say one word to defeat us. When we were spar Naruto ni, his appearance changed to where it looked very demonic. Life around him began to die just by his presence. We were about to attack him and the only thing he said was, "Kneel." Everyone that was still awake kneeled before. It was as if something was forcing us to kneel. He then said, "Bow," and like before, we somehow bowed to him like he was king. He then ordered us to rise to our feet and we had no choice but to follow his command. Naruto told Yamato, who shivered at what had been told to him. I call it command. I know it's a lame name, but basically when I'm in that form, I can basically tell anyone what to do. Ranging from telling you to get me something to drink to executing yourself without second thought. I can also drain the life force of anyone I choose. That is why I'm in that form. You saw everything dying but your friends Naruto. If you were enemy ninja, I could kill you without moving. Just a simple look is all it takes and you are on your way to meet Shinigami himself. Naruto stated darkly, causing the two to pale in fear. Naruto looked out the window and saw that it was getting dark. Well, suggest that we go find ourselves a hotel. We will need rest to leave early in the morning. Naruto stated with a smile. Time skip. After getting a hotel, Naruto, Naruko, and Yamato went to their own rooms in order to get some sleep for the morning. Naruto was up writing notes in his notebooks. He hadn't been too long, just got out of the shower, so he only put on a pair of boxers and black sleeping pants, leaving his Anbu tattoo and scars showing in full display. His hair was still wet but it was spiked up, making him look like his grandfather, Madara. While sitting on the edge of his bed writing his notes, he heard a knock on his door and told the person to come in. He was shocked to see that it was his little sister, but he smiled warmly at her. "Ah, Naruko. What is it that is keeping you, my dear little sister?" Naruto asked as she came over to Naruto and sat down beside her older brother. "Naruto ni?" she said softly. "What is it, little sister?" he asked warmly. "There is something I want to tell you," she said while squirming around nervously. Naruto saw this and put around her and brought her into his chest. "Speak your mind, Ruko-chan," Naruto said soothingly. Naruko took a deep breath and spoke. "I think I'm in love, Naruto ni," she said while blushing slightly. Naruto's eyes widened in shock as he looked at his sister before smiling warmly. "So who is the lucky guy who has captured my sister's heart?" Naruto said warmly. "Ni-san, I'm gay," Naruko said as she looked down to the floor, scared what her brother's reaction would be. Naruto just froze. He was shocked to his core. He wasn't expecting this, his mind going crazy right now. His sister was gay. My sister is gay? My sister is gay. Well, I be damned, Naruto thought with an warm chuckle. Naruto began to pat his sister's head affectionately, which caused her to look up only to see her brother staring at her with loving eyes. "So, Ruko-chan? Who is the lucky girl who has captured your heart?" Naruto asked. Hinata-chan, she said with an embarrassed blush. Naruto saw this and smiled. He got up and got in front of his sister. He kneeled down and looked at his sister while rubbing the whiskers on her cheek. Naruto smiled and hugged his sister while shedding a few tears of his own. After 10 minutes of hugging and crying, Naruko smiled brightly at her brother as he stood up to his full height. He patted her head lovingly and looked at the clock. "It's getting late, little sister. It's time to go to sleep," Naruto said as he smiled at his sister. Naruko blushed and asked her brother a question, but Naruto couldn't hear her correctly. "What did you say, Naruko?" Naruto asked with an raised eyebrow. "See, can I sleep with you, big brother?" she asked with an embarrassed blush. Naruto just laughed heartily, which caused her to blush a deeper shade of red. "Sure, I don't mind," Naruto said as he got into the bed. Naruko got in afterwards and snuggled against her brother's chest, listening to his heartbeat. "Good night, Naruto ni," she said softly while falling to sleep. Naruto had a small smile on his face. "Good night, Ruko-chan," he replied back as he rubbed her head soothingly. "I love you, Naruto ni." was the last words she said before falling into a deep slumber. Naruto smiled as he kissed his sister's forehead, which caused her to smile in her sleep. I love you too, my dear little sister. Naruto said as he fell asleep listening to the soft snores of his little sister. Where is the king? He should be here any minute. Good, because he is not going to like this. Here he comes. Coming full speed was a blonde-haired man that was cut short with an undercut riding a black horse coming full speed with his soldiers no too far behind him. He was close enough to the three men, he stopped the huge black horse and jumped off. He stood at 6 feet 4, he had cold blue eyes that were narrowed menacingly. He had a black cloak that was covered with black fur at the top. He had on a black long-sleeved turtleneck, with black pants and black combat boots. This was the Dark King of the Land of Whirlpools, Naruto Uzumaki. He has gone by many names. The Blonde Devil, the Dark Tyrant, the Summoner of Dragons, the Heavenly Demon, the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, the strongest ruler of the elemental nations, the one who brought hell on earth, the Lost King, the Dragon Sage, the King of Chaos and Destruction, the embodiment of darkness. So many names for a being who started from nothing and ended up becoming a ruthless tyrant. My lord, we have caught the trespassers who have been lurking. One of the soldiers said. Naruto looked at his soldier and looked at the 20 men who was caught. Naruto nodded to his soldier and walked towards the trespassers. They shivered at the cold look they were receiving from the blonde king. You bandits never learn, do you? Naruto asked coldly. The shivered at the time he was using. My lord. Silence. I don't remember asking you to talk. Naruto replied darkly, causing them to shake in fear. Naruto looked at them with a slight shocked look before getting a dark look in his eyes. You are the same group of men who tried to trespass 2 weeks ago, aren't you? He asked, which caused them to pale. He raised his chakra to 5%, which was dense and caused the bandits to have trouble breathing. Answer me, are you the same group of men who trespassed 2 weeks ago? He asked in a demonic voice which caused to shake violently in fear. Why yes, sir, the leader said while trembling. Naruto looked towards him and walked up to him. I assume you are the leader, are you not? Naruto asked in a tone that barely showed any emotion. Why yes, sir, he answered. Naruto glared at him before he brought his hand up and made a come here motion. 4 of his soldiers that was on horses came up to him and got down from the horses and bowed. Yes, my king? The first soldier asked. He says that he is the leader of this so-called group. Tie his limbs to the horses and pull them off. Naruto said darkly. The leader of the bandits' eyes widened with fear as he began to beg for mercy, but Naruto ignored and kept a cold look on his face. My lord, pardon me for asking, but what are you going to do about the other bandits? Naruto's right-hand man asked. I gave them a warning 2 weeks ago and I was generous enough to let them live. But now they have pissed me off. Wood-style wooden spikes. Naruto yelled as he slammed his feet that was covered with chakra down on the ground, which caused huge wooden spikes to rise up from the ground and impale the remaining bandits. Blood dripped down the wood spikes in a slow fashion. Naruto turned his back and walked back to his horse and hopped back on. My lord, what are you going to do to the bodies? His right-hand man asked. Leave them to the crows and vultures. No need to bury such filth on my land. Hiya! Naruto yelled as his horse took a full speed heading back to his kingdom with his soldiers following behind him. As they were riding, they heard screams of pain and agony coming from the leader of the bandits. This caused Naruto to smile darkly as he rode back to his kingdom on his horse. And my name is Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. I am the 6th Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves. With me as my guards is my little sister Naruko Uzumaki and Yamato. Naruto introduced himself lastly. Everyone looked towards Naruto in shock, especially Gaara. He didn't know that Naruto had an older brother. Nonetheless, he was an Uchiha. The other 2 Sand siblings were shocked too. Everyone stared at Naruto. He had an aura that showed power and authority. Being the tallest person there at the cage summit, only an inch taller than the Raikage, caused you to have a lot of attention. Mifune looked towards Naruto and nodded. And now we will begin the cage summit. Mifune stated as Naruto sat back down and took off his Hokage hat. He sat the hat on the table and used his right hand to support his head as he began tapping the left side of the chair in a rhythmic way. Now before we begin on why we are here, I know some of the newer Hokages have questions that need to be answered, so please start asking. Mifune said as Gaara looked towards Naruto. Lord Sixth, he called out. Yes? I was wondering, are you Naruto's biological older brother? Gaara asked as Naruto smiled and nodded. Yes, she is indeed my younger biological sister. Naruto answered truthfully. But how? You said you were a Namikaze but you have black hair. My guess is the Uchiha genes, but the question is, which Uchiha did it come from? Mei asked as she looked at Naruto with a slight blush. Well, to answer your question, I am Namikaze and Uchiha. As you can see, I adopted more of my Uchiha genes. You can thank my grandfather, Madara Uchiha, for that. I also have a slight bit of my mother's and grandmother's genes, but Naruto has more of that and the Senju genes on her side. Naruto stated, shocking everyone there. So you mean to tell me that the Yellow Flash was the son of the ghost of the Uchiha? And to make it worse, you look and sound exactly like your grandfather. That is scary. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, I see. The third Chukage stated sarcastically, only to get a heated glare from Naruto that made him flinch. Mind your tongue, Lord Chukage. That is still my father and grandfather you are talking about. Naruto said sternly, which caused everyone to shiver. And your father and grandfather slaughtered thousands of my soldiers. The Chukage yelled out. During times of war you did the same thing to the leaf, did you not? So what's the difference, Lord Chukage? These are the consequences that come with the price of war. A price that you were willing to pay as soon as you took the seat as the Chukage. You sent men and women out there to stop my father, did you not? You led men and women to stop my grandfather, did you not? And you did this, knowing my grandfather's and father's caliber in terms of power easily outclassed yours. So if there is anybody to blame, blame yourself, Lord Chukage. Naruto finished, leaving Onoki speechless. Kurasuchi gritted her teeth in anger as she began lashing out at Naruto. Your father killed my mother, you bastard. Kurasuchi. No, Lord Chukage, let her speak. Naruto said calmly. It isn't fair. Your father took everything away from me. I hate your father. I hate your village. And the sight of you makes me hate your village more. Maybe if I killed you, I can avenge my mother and get my vengeance. She yelled out in hatred as Naruto just stared at her. The room was quiet and everyone was waiting for Naruto's response. Naruto was gritting her teeth in anger as somebody just disrespected her brother and father in front of her. She felt a hand grab hers and turned to see Naruto holding it tightly as he gave her a warm smile. Naruto then looked back towards Kurasuchi, who was releasing killing intent, but it wasn't affecting Naruto, not even the slightest. Will it bring her back? What? Kurasuchi asked, shocked. Tell me, Kurasuchi-san, after you kill me, or anybody else from my village, will it bring your mother back? Naruto asked calmly as he looked at her. No, but at least I will get my vengeance, she stated. Naruto shook his head. Vengeance, you say? It's always about vengeance. Lord Mifune, do you mind if I speak my mind for a little while? Naruto asked respectfully as Mifune nodded. I don't mind at all, as I am interested in what you have to say also. Mifune stated truthfully. Thank you, Lord Mifune. Naruto thanked as took a deep breath and exhaled. As I was saying, you say you want to get vengeance by killing me? But then, what about my friends? What about my family? What about my people? What about my village? They too will seek vengeance and will want to come after your head. And this vengeance will cause hatred to be born, and it will continue, and then war breaks out. War breaks out and bloodshed continues until we began to lose friends we grew up with, family members, comrades, lovers, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers. As you can see, the cause of war is always mostly caused when someone loses somebody they love. Just by living, people hurt others without even realizing it. So long as humanity exists, hate will also exist. There is no peace in this cursed world. War is just a crime paid for by the pain of the defeated. But you also have to realize that your mother died in that war in order to protect her people, and more specifically to protect you as a mother. That is the ideology of war. We enter wars in order to protect what we hold dearly that is waiting for us at home. You never know when you will die in battle, but as long you die knowing that the person you love is in great hands, you can die peacefully. That is the best thing in this cruel world of shinobi. Love. Love is what brings us together, and when stronger people who have something to love come together, those type of people can accomplish anything. The life of a shinobi is not peaceful, nor is it bad. But as a shinobi, there will be things that will have to be sacrificed in life in order for you to push forward so it won't happen again, such as losing someone you love. You don't fall into the hatred. No, you overcome that hatred and become stronger. Create stronger bonds as family and a friend. Protect your village as a shinobi. I sacrificed almost 10 years of my life in order for my sister and the village to stay safe. 9.5 years in blood prison isn't the most pleasant thing in the world, but as long as my sister is safe I will do anything. That is we, as shinobi, is what type of mindset we should have in order for a better future for the next generation coming after us. Which is one of the reasons why we are here today. We will be going to war with the Akatsuki, and to defeat them, we will have together as one. Not as a separate village, no, as the elemental nations as whole. When we do, I know we can defeat the Akatsuki. Naruto finished as everyone stared at him with wide eyes. Naruto stared at her older brother with wide, awe-filled eyes. He wants peace just like pervy sage? She thought as she looked at him. Kurasuchi stared at the ground as tears fell from her eyes. Kurasuchi, yes Lord Hokage? She looked up sadly. You say that my father took away everything from you. Look around you. You have a grandfather and father still here for you. Cherish them while they are here. As a shinobi, you never know when they're going to leave this world. And I can't say sorry for something that my father did in the war that was supposed to happen. But, if it makes you feel better, my father stated that your mother was the strongest kunoichi he fought from the rock village. Naruto said warmly as Kurasuchi's eyes widened as she began crying again, which Naruto looked at the girl with sorrow evident in his eyes. The next thing that happened shocked everyone. Naruto teleported in front of Kurasuchi and brought her into a hug. This caused her eyes to widen as tears kept falling from her eyes. This feeling, it's so warm, it feels like, I'm hugging mom again. She thought as she slowly wrapped her arms around Naruto. This caused Naruto to smile as rubbed circles on her back. I can tell you are a strong woman, Kurasuchi. We will need kunoichi like you in this war. Naruto said warmly as Kurasuchi nodded into Naruto's torso. Naruto let go off the hug and patted Kurasuchi on the top of her head, which caused her to blush in embarrassment. Naruto chuckled and began walking to his seat. Era, I want a hug and head pat too, Naruto-kun tilde. Mei said with lust as she stared at Naruto. Naruto stopped walking and froze. He began to turn his head slowly to look at Mei. Once he fully turned to Mei, he gave her a look that made Yamato cry tears of joy. You shall know pain, Mei. Naruto said darkly as his look intensified as he activated his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. He teleported in front of her and went through fast hand signs before ending it. Naruto's secret technique, Begone Thought Jutsu. Naruto yelled as he punched Mei comically through the wall, which shocked everyone, well except Kankuro and Naruto, who were laughing at the situation. It seems like to play rough, Naruto-kun. But it's okay, I like it rough, he tilde. Mei stated as she came from the hole she was punched through with blood on her lower lip. She licked her lip and stared at Naruto with nothing but lust, which made Naruto slightly blush, but he played it off by coughing and walking back to his seat. Well, isn't this summit entertaining? A voice said from up above the cage. Naruto already sensed him there, but he played along with this masked man. Who are you and how did you get here? A yelled as the person began chuckling. Me? My name is Madara Uchiha, the leader of the Akatsuki. I am Madara Uchiha, the masked man said, releasing a great amount of chakra that caused 4 out of the cage to gasp for air. The masked man noticed that the Hokage wasn't affected. He had his head down with the cage hat covering his face. Perhaps he's passed out from fear. The masked man thought with a smirk before he started gasping for air and began sweating. What the hell is this pressure coming from? The masked man thought as he looked back towards the Hokage slowly. He noticed that the Hokage had malevolent, dark, and evil black chakras surrounding him. He also had an aura that reeked death around him. You dare come and disturb this important meeting? The Hokage asked darkly as he began to raise his head slowly. The masked man's eyes widened in shock and horror. What the hell? He sounds exactly like Madara. Who the hell is he? He thought before he paled and began sweating profusely. No, anybody but him. He wasn't supposed to be out for a next 10 years. The masked man thought frantically as he saw blood-red eternal Mangekyo Sharingan eyes glaring at him menacingly. Who are you? Naruto asked darkly as his chakra began shaking the building, causing web-like cracks to appear on the floor and walls. As I said, I am Mada. The masked man couldn't finish as an arrow made out of black lightning passed face, quickly causing his mask to crack again. Bullshit. Lie again and I won't miss on purpose next time. Now who the fuck are you? Naruto asked angrily as he was about to release his first phase of his curse. The masked man took a deep and shaky breath and exhaled. Very well then. My name is Tobi. I am the true leader of the Akatsuki. The masked man said with a small sigh as Naruto stopped raising his chakra, which caused everyone to breath. Naruto looked at her brother in shock, never seen him get so angry before. That's better. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, the 6th Hokage of the Leaf Village. Naruto said with a motionless tone. How did you know that I wasn't Madara? Because I'm his grandson, Naruto said, causing Tobi's eyes to widen in shock. Sensei was the son of Madara this whole time? Tobi thought in shock before he regained his composure. Ah, I see. Well then, you must know why I'm already here. Tobi addressed to the 5 cages in the room. You will not be getting my brother, nor will you be getting the 8 tails, and that's final. A yelled as he glared at Tobi. Why do you want the tailed beast anyway? Gaara asked. In order to bring true peace. Tobi answered as Naruto just simply looked at him. True peace? Mei asked in a confused tone. Yes. With the power of the tailed beast taken away from the 5 great villages, there will be no more conflicts in the elemental nations. No more foolish wars will arise when the tailed beasts are sealed away. But if I get the all 9 tailed beasts, I can bring this world to true peace. By summoning the 10-tailed beast, the world can live their dreams, or in other words, make their dreams become reality. No more wars, just peace for the greater good of the elemental nations. I caused this plan to end all wars, the Eye of the Moon. Tobi finished shocking everyone, but Naruto kept a stoic face. Tobi turned to Naruto and smirked. What do you think of my plan, Lord Hokage? Tobi asked darkly, which sent shivers down everyone's spine except for Ai and Naruto. As tempting as it may be, I'll have to pass. Naruto said as Tobi raised an eyebrow when Naruto mentioned that it was tempting. I can see where you are coming from. You are looking for a way to end all wars and bring peace to the world, but you are going down the wrong path to do it. Naruto stated seriously. Oh? Do explain, Lord Hokage. Tobi said in voice that showed interest. The peace that you are trying to create is nothing more than an illusion. An illusion that will make the person's dream become reality will tempt anyone, but then again, it's nothing more but an illusion. Nothing more, nothing less. One's happy dream could be a frightful nightmare for the other, and one's illusion could be someone's reality. It's how the way you look at it from a certain point. We as humans make illusions just to cover up the cold, hard truth of reality. As we grow accustomed to these illusions, we don't even think about what's really reality anymore. But once the illusion falls, you can't hope to face the cold, hard truth of reality because you lived your life based off an illusion. Naruto stated as everyone had thoughtful looks on their faces. Even Tobi had an thoughtful look on his face behind his mask. Everyone was brought out of their thoughts as Naruto began talking again. Question is, how will you handle it? How will you handle the truth about reality once the illusion falls? Can you handle the truth about reality? Will you accept the truth about reality with open arms, or will you push the truth about reality to the side and look past it? So many questions that we as humans never ask ourselves because we don't want the truth to the answer. And when we do find the truth to the answer, we won't accept that truth. We began to question what's real and what's not. Our mind goes into a quarrel and you began to think that everything was lie from the start. Which is true because you were the one to create that illusion with mind. The human mind would rather believe something they hear rather than believing when the truth is showed to them. But then again, some human minds are the complete opposite, isn't that right, Tobi? Naruto asked with narrowed Sharingan eyes. Tobi's eyes widened as he got a flashback of Kakashi stabbing Rin through the chest with a Chidori before he slightly shook his head and stared at Naruto with his one Sharingan eye. Are you implying something, Lord Hokage? Tobi asked with a dark tone as Naruto just simply closed his eyes and sighed. I'm not implying nothing at all, Tobi. What I'm trying to say is that, even though I admire you for trying to bring peace to the shinobi world, but the way you are doing it is completely wrong. But then again, the way of the shinobi system is wrong. I always looked up to Jinchurikis because of how strong they were to carry the burden of carrying a tailed beast with them for the rest of their lives. People looked up to Kage's famous shinobi. Me, I looked up to the Jinchurikis. Naruto said with a smile as everyone stared at him in shock, especially Naruto. But then, Jinchurikis couldn't be the person who they were without the tailed beast. So I got curious? Why did the tailed beast have to be sealed up? What did they do wrong? Have they ever harmed anyone? And even if they did they start the conflict, or was it the shinobi who started the conflict with tailed beast? You all want to seal the tailed beast, but have any of you ever thought about the true feelings of the tailed beast? Have any of you ever tried to cooperate with these so-called mindless beasts, as you so put it? Have any of you tried to ask for their names? Naruto asked as everyone looked shocked about what he said. Deep inside of Naruto's seal, the Kyuubi was listening to the whole conversation, and for the first time ever, he smiled a genuine smile. That kid. He reminds so much of the old man. He has Madara's looks but the old man's way of thinking. The girl reminds me of Ashura. I knew that brat was something when he was first born. It's a shame I didn't get sealed into him. The Kyuubi thought with a small chuckle as he began listening to the conversation again. So to answer your question, Toby, I will not allow you to take the tailed beast sealed into my sister nor my sister. To be honest, I want to meet Kyuubi-san, Naruto said with small smile as Toby sighed from behind his mask. Very well. I now declare the fourth great ninja war against the 5 cages. Until then, ya-nade tilde, Toby said, but before everything around him froze. Everything but him. So it's come to this, Toby? A voice said behind him. Toby was shocked and turned around slowly and saw Naruto behind him with an innocent but dark smile. Why you? How? Toby yelled. Oh, don't worry, I won't do anything to you. This is one of my abilities of my eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I can stop time at any given time. Naruto stated. What do you want from me? Toby asked on edge. What do I want? Nothing at all. I'll play along with you in this little game of war. But do know this. Naruto started as he jumped down and began walking while still having his time-stopping ability activated. I know who you are. Obito Uchiha, Naruto said darkly as he sat back down in his cage seat as the man behind the mask paled and began sweating profusely. Do not fret. I'll keep this little secret between us. Now I think it's about time you leave. I'm about to release my time-stopping jutsu. Naruto said with a dark smile as Obito gritted his teeth and disappeared in thin air. Naruto chuckled sinisterly before releasing his jutsu. I hope you chose the right path eventually, Obito. If you don't, we'll I guess avenge my parents by taking your life. Naruto thought with an evil smile, ignoring everyone else's conversation. With Obito. Damn it, he knows WHOIAM. Obito yelled as he punched the wall in frustration. Zetsu. He yelled as a plant-like figure rose from the ground. Yes, Obito? Is the Zetsu army almost finished being made? Obito asked. Yes, sir. Zetsu answered happily as Obito ignored it. Good, he stated as he took the wrapping down from his left eye and it revealed to be a Rinnegan. Because I have a war to prepare for, he said as his new eyes glowed menacingly. Itachi, Kakashi, Naruto. Wait on me for a little while longer. A mysterious figure said while walking through the forest. I'll be back, you guys. Just hold on, the unknown figure thought before disappearing in thin air. Welcome back, Lord Hokage. Izumo. Katetsu. It's good to see you two again. So tell me, how's the village been doing while I was gone? Naruto asked as he dismissed Yamato but told his little sister to stay. It has been improving well, my lord. In a week or two, we will be prepared for war. Izumo answered as his best friend nodded in agreement. Good, very good indeed, Naruto said with a typical Uchiha smirk. Naruto flared a little of his chakra a little as an Anbu appeared in front of him while bowing. Yes, Lord Hokage? Bear. Inform the shinobi clan heads of a meeting in an hour. Inform Tsunade and Jiraiya as well. Tell them not to be late. Naruto ordered in a commanding tone. Yes, Lord Hokage. You are dismissed, Naruto said before the Anbu disappeared in pure speed. Naruto looked down at Naruto with a warm smile. Come on, little sis, let's go walk around the village before getting something to eat, Naruto said warmly before nodding to the 2 gate guards. Man. With him back, Konoha might have the strongest militia ever before. Kasetsu stated as Izumo nodded in agreement. Yeah, but he seems to be a cool Hokage too. Izumo replied back to his friend. Yeah, he does seem cool. Scene change. So Naruto, tell me about yourself. Naruto started as he waved at little children who were staring at him in awe and stars in their eyes. Well, my favorite food is ramen. Black and orange are my two favorite colors. I like learning new jutsus and spending time with friends, and I'm a lesbian. Naruto said softly as she waved at the little kids as well. Naruto looked at his little sister and raised an eyebrow, which caught Naruto's attention. What? Remind me to tell Yugo to take you shopping. Naruto stated as Naruto looked at her older brother confusion. What's wrong with my outfit? She asked. You will not be wearing all that orange on the battlefield. Naruto replied with a deadpan look on his face. Why not? She yelled. Because it's too much damn orange. You'll be nothing but a moving target on the battlefield. It's surprising that you never got caught in all that orange on. Either people were color blind or just flat out ignored the color. Naruto said bluntly, causing his little sister to face fault. She got up with a pout on her face and crossed her arms as she huffed childishly. "You're mean, Naru-ni," she whined as Naruto just chuckled before patting her head affectionately. "No, I just don't want my sister dying on the battlefield. Look at it this way, you get to spend time with your future sister-in-law." Naruto smiled as Naruto gained a mischievous look in her eyes. "That doesn't mean you should be looking at her ass and boobs while you two were out shopping, Naruto." "Ah, you're so mean, big brother." Naruto whined again. "Oi, you have Hinata and I have Yugo. Be satisfied." Naruto smirked as Naruto pouted before catching up with her brother. "Naruto-ni? Huh? For you to be a man, you have a nice ass." Naruto said teasingly. "You remind me of Anko." Naruto said as he turned to his sister, who had a smile on her face like his mother used to have when she was teasing his father. "Anko? You mean the crazy snake lady?" Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. "Yep, that's the one." Naruto nodded. "How do you know her?" Naruto asked. "We used to be friends, with benefits." Naruto trailed off as Naruto looked at him. "So, you two were fuck buddies?" she asked bluntly. "Yeah, but it was before me and Yugo met. She was always into some kinky stuff, but I didn't complain." Naruto shrugged with smirk as he walked into Ichiraku while Naruto stood there in shock. "My older brother is into S&M. Naruto thought. Shouldn't be a surprise. He is the grandson of Madara, who enjoyed seeing people in pain and laughed while he was in the most excruciating pain ever. A dark voice said from within Naruto's head. "When you put it like that, it does make sense." Naruto replied. "Let me guess, Lord Kurama is teasing you again?" Naruto asked with a small smile. "You are probably wondering why Naruto is showing the tailed beast respect. Well, Naruto always admired the tailed beast. So when he met the Kyuubi, he was thrilled and excited to see a legendary entity." Flashback. Why does your mindscape look this, Naruto? "I don't know. It's always been like this ever since I was little." Naruto answered truthfully. "Have thought about changing it?" Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow as they walked through the water of the sewer-like place. "No, I don't know how to," she said honestly as Naruto turned to her with a deadpan look. "Naruto, it's your mindscape. You can change it how the way you want it to be," Naruto stated in a matter-of-fact tone, causing her to blush in embarrassment. "Well, it seems someone has smart and sharp mind," a dark and deep voice said, causing the siblings to stop and look towards a large golden gate. In the darkness, there were blood-red, malevolent eyes with black vertical slits. Naruto saw this and gasped and began shaking. "Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, do you fear me, boy? Is that why you are trembling?" The Kyuubi asked as he came into the light, displaying his full body in all its glory. "No, I'm fucking excited," Naruto yelled with stars in his eyes, shocking the Kyuubi greatly. "Wow, I never thought I would meet the strongest being ever in my life. Is it true that you crush mountains with your tail? Can you cause tsunamis with your roar? How do you make your voice that deep? Can I touch your fur? What is your name?" Naruto rambled as he jumped up and down like a happy child in the candy shop. The Kyuubi sweat dropped slightly at the young Uchiha. "This is shocking. He looks exactly like Madara, but he's acting like Hashirama." The Kyuubi thought before his eyes widened as remembered the last question the young Uchiha asked him. "What did you just ask me?" The Kyuubi asked as Naruto stopped his rambling and thought about the last question he asked before gaining wide eyes. "Oh, I wanted to know, what is your name?" "Surely it can't be Kyuubi," Naruto asked as with excitement in his eyes. The Kyuubi looked at Naruto for what seemed an hour, trying to feel any negativity or deceit coming from the raven-haired boy, but couldn't find nothing. He sighed before answering the Madara lookalike. "Kurama." he said deeply as Naruto's eyes widened before he gained a happy smile. It's nice to meet you, Kurama-sama. My name is Naruto Namikaze Uchiha. Naruto chirped in excitement as Naruto stared at her older brother in shock. It's like all the Uchiha genes in him suddenly disappeared. She thought with a shocked look. I know who you are. Sixth Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves. Kurama said in slight praise as Naruto blushed in embarrassment as he scratched the back of his head sheepishly with a bright smile. About all of the humans I have met, to be more specific Uchihas, you and your two friends have gained my respect. But you gained the most of it if I'm being honest. Kurama stated, shocking Naruto and Naruto. Mostly Naruto. Are really? How? Naruto asked, shocked. You were willing to sacrifice your freedom in order to protect your sister and the ones you love. It takes a lot for a man to give up his freedom, but you didn't hesitate. For 9.5 years, you sat in the most dangerous prison known to man, all because you did what you thought was right for your village and most importantly your family. For that you have my deepest respect. Kurama said surprisingly in a warm tone. Naruto had let a tear slide down his face as he walked up to the golden cage and bowed to the fox. Thank you for your praise, Kurama-sama. Naruto said in a chocked voice as Kurama smiled at the boy. Raise your head, boy. There is no need to bow to me. I am simply telling you the truth. Kurama stated calmly. His chakra. It's similar. No, exactly alike. The Kurama was brought out of his thoughts when Naruto asked him a question. Kurama-san, do you think my little sister is strong enough to handle the full power of your chakra? Naruto asked as Kurama brought his paw-like hands to his chin. Yes, she should be able to control it now. But she will have to train in order to keep up the transformation. The chakra that will be released from the seal will be so dense that it would be too much even for her. Kurama informed Naruto as Naruto nodded. Well, if it's okay with you, I would like to remove the seal from the cage and help her control your chakra. Naruto said, slightly nervous of Kurama's answer. Sure, go ahead. I trust and know that you will be the one to help her control my chakra. Can't have any container making me look weak. Kurama stated bluntly as Naruto laughed nervously like his father, and Naruto gained a tick mark on her head as her red hair split into 9 tails. Oi, what did you say, you overgrown fox? She yelled at the fox as Kurama growled in an annoyed way. You heard me, brat. If you decided to take your training seriously, stop running around yelling about how you will be Hokage, and stopping running into everything without a plan. Maybe you could have been learned how to control my chakra. Kurama snapped back as steam came out of Naruto's ears as she held up her fist while it was shaking violently. Hell, because of you, I couldn't even have perfect chakra control because your big furry ass was interfering with that. So what do you expect? Naruto fired back as Kurama had the audacity to blush. I will still pissed off that had to be sealed inside of brat like you. Kurama mumbled as Naruto was about to say something, but Kurama beat her to it. But now I don't regret it. Out of all my containers besides your mother, you're the most interesting and you've also have gained my respect. Kurama said with a slight blush as he turned his head to the side while using his tail to scratch the top of his head. Naruto looked at shock at first, but that soon to happiness, but she had a slight mischievous glint in her eyes. Ah tilde, I love you too, Kurama ni tilde. She said in a sing-song voice as Kurama turned his head to the side a little more. Yeah, whatever, brat. Kurama mumbled as Naruto smiled at the two. Dad, Mom, your sacrifice wasn't for nothing. Naruto thought as a lone tear fell from his eye. Flashback end. Naruto thought about the interaction with smile gracing his face before he looked towards the clock of the ramen stand before standing up. Naruto, it's time to go, Naruto said seriously as he put a large tip on the table before leaving while Naruto was trying to catch up with her tall brother. Scene change. Hokage office. Welcome back, Lord Hokage. It seems your trip was a success? Indeed, it was, Shikaku. Tell me, how well Kakashi was doing the job? Naruto asked as he hung his own personal robe up, leaving him in his own personal Jonin outfit. A black tracksuit similar to his father's navy blue tracksuit with his father's white armbands around his forearms. He had on black steel-toe combat boots with a dagger strapped to his right leg. His katana was strapped to his back as his mother's katana was sealed inside of a storage seal on his arm. His Jonin vest was midnight black in color with the kanji for Black Phantom sewed to the back of his Jonin vest. He also had on black fingerless gloves with metal plates that had the Namikaze and Uchiha clan symbol on it. He did a very good job. He's also stronger than before as he began his training as soon as he left. He is mid to high Kage level now. Shikaku informed. Naruto nodded as he grabbed his Haori and Kage hat and put them on. Well, let's get this over, Shikaku-san. I know meetings can be quite troublesome sometimes, as you put it. Naruto said as he and Shikaku walked out of the room. You took the words right out of my mouth, Lord Hokage. Shikaku sighed as Naruto chuckled before Shikaku closed the Hokage's office door. Scene change. Meeting chambers. It's good to see you, my lord. The shinobi clan heads seated in an oval-like way in the large room. You all may sit, Naruto said seriously as they complied to his orders. Now, you probably know why you are here. Naruto started off as everyone nodded before Tsunade and Jiraiya came in. They both apologized for interrupting before sitting down in the seats that was there for only the elders. As I was saying, you might know why we are here. We will soon be going to war with the Akatsuki leader known as Tobi. Naruto informed as most of them gasped about going into another war. Is there a reason why we are going into this war, Lord Naruto? Hiyashi Hyuga, the clan head for the Hyuga clan, asked as Naruto nodded. Yes, he wants to capture all the tailed beasts and seal them away. He has succeeded in taking 7 of these powerful entities. Naruto stated seriously as everyone listened. Good news is that the elemental nations will be coming together to make the first allied shinobi force. Naruto stated as everyone gained wide eyes, especially Jiraiya. Naruto looked towards his godfather and nodded with a small smile plastering his face. Yes, this will be the first step to creating peace throughout the shinobi world. But in order for this peace to happen, we will have to go into a war to protect this world. Naruto stated as the Izunaka clan head began to speak. But Lord Hokage, the leader of the Akatsuki, has the legendary Rinnegan eyes. How will we defeat someone like that? She questioned only to gasp in shock like everyone else. Dear Kami, impossible. I'm too old for this shit. Just like his sister, he's a handful and troublesome, but this takes the cake. To think my own godson would have something so legendary. Everyone stared at Naruto in shock as he grinned a very Uchiha-like grin as he raised his head to show something that was different about him. He had the Rinnegan. Naruto, how do you have the Rinnegan? Tsunade asked as Naruto chuckled a little bit. I gained the Rinnegan while I was doing my time in blood prison. I guess my Uchiha blood from my dad and Senju blood from my mom caused me to awaken my Rinnegan. Naruto stated, but Jiraiya had a question on his mind. How can you activate and deactivate the Rinnegan? He asked. Due to my Uchiha and Senju genes mixing perfectly, it gives me the ability to activate and deactivate my Rinnegan. Naruto answered as his godfather. So that explains why Nagato couldn't deactivate his Rinnegan. Jiraiya thought. And from my intel, it seems Orochimaru will be returning by the end of this week. Naruto stated as everyone gained shocked looks on their faces. Before they could reply about this action that was taken, Naruto simply raised his hands to silence them. I know you all hate him. But now isn't the time to be driven by hatred. We will be going to war in 2 weeks. We will need all the help we need in order to win this war. So as of right now, Orochimaru is going to register as ninja for the Leaf once again. Naruto said in tone that held no arguments as everyone agreed. Naruto sighed before talking again. I've called you all here to tell you to be prepared. I know all of you have had your shares of war, but this war will be different than the first 3 wars. No longer will we be fighting for dominance or land. We will be fighting for peace and the protection of this world. We will be working with the other villages to end this war as quickly as possible. So that means all of your hatred for another village has to be squashed until this war is over. While on the battlefield, you will be fighting with different ninjas from different nations. I won't tolerate such pettiness on the battlefield when war is raging on. If you see your fellow ninja or kunoichi hurt, even if they are from a different village, lend them a helping hand. And I promise you, we will win this war if we all stick together. Naruto finished as everyone with small smile on their face. Yes, Lord Hokage. They all answered as Naruto put a senbon in his mouth like it was toothpick. Good. Then this meeting is adjourned. You all are dismissed. Naruto ordered as they got up and left. Scene change. Hokage Mansion rooftop. Naruto was watching the sunset with a small genuine smile on his face. Sunsets always seemed to calm him, which is why every day he would watch the sunset. You still like watching the sunset? You never change, a voice said softly as Naruto's eyes widened slightly before returning to their normal size. And you still like sneaking up on people, don't you, Itachi? Naruto said as he turned to his brother in all but blood. Itachi smiled as he walked up to him and brought him into a brotherly hug. It's good to see you again, bro, Itachi said as Naruto hugged him back. Same goes to you, little bro, Naruto said with a smirk. Ah, come on Naruto, you're only 1 month older than me, Itachi exclaimed as Naruto chuckled at him. Doesn't matter, I'm still older than you. Well, guess what? I'm older than both of you, a voice chirped which made Itachi and Naruto freeze. They turned slowly before gasping in shock as tears welled up in their eyes. It's not possible, Naruto said in a quivering voice. It doesn't make sense. I saw it happen, Itachi yelled as tears fell from his face. How are you still alive, Shisui? Naruto asked. The new voice known as Shisui walked up to the two and brought them into a three-way hug. I'll tell you guys later. For now, let's just sit and watch the sunset together like old times, Shisui said as the trio sat down on the roof and watched the sun go down. Naruto, the tallest of the group, wrapped his arms around the two he considered brothers and smiled brightly. I've missed this. I've missed you guys so much, Naruto said as the other two Uchihas smiled and chuckled. We had to come back. Once we heard that you were released from prison, we decided that it was time, Itachi said as Shisui smiled sheepishly. Shisui then took out a deck of cards and smiled mischievously. You guys trying to play spades? He asked while wiggling his eyebrows. I'm down as long as we have some sweets, Itachi stated as Naruto unsealed a bunch sweets that he had bought from the Iron Country. I'm in, Itachi quickly stated as he grabbed a Pocky stick and began eating it. Deal those damn cards, Shisui ni, Naruto said excitedly as he grabbed a chocolate chip cookie while Shisui put a dango stick in his mouth while shuffling and passing out the cards. The top of the Hokage roof was filled with laughter and jokes all night long. Kakashi, who had heard it, body flickered to the top and joined in the game. He was glad seeing the people he called family back once again. Sure, he had Team 7, but his old Anbu team has and always will be family to him. Not knowing what has happened, Toby was in a rude awakening. The 4 horsemen of Konoha have come back together and are stronger than they ever was before. That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.